WTHC, good afternoon, and I've been freaking out. I don't know,
I'm
man.
getting used to.
Yeah, I don't know. Mrs. Hippie's making me do chores and errands all morning. I'm like, whoa, I got to go to work. She's like, no, you don't. I'm like, yes, I do.
That's fun.
I got to go into that room. So how was your interview, sir?
That was okay.
Yeah.
It's good practice, you know.
Yeah.
I'll know next Wednesday really how it was, next Wednesday or Thursday, to see if they offer me a job or not. Of course, I'm not going to take it, but I was just curious. It's like an ego thing, maybe, or whatever, right? Because I've been feeling kind of down. I've applied for quite a few jobs, and I haven't received very many offers for interviews. So it's been concerning for me because I have a very interesting resume. Of course, a lot of it's got to do with the cannabis industry, so that could be the problem.
Well, how do you leave out certain aspects of your life? You know, you can't, right? So I mean, that's probably hampering some of your. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, it's bad enough I got an 8-year chunk in there that I have to lie about. You know what I mean? But I've made it very difficult for them to verify what went on during those 8 years. And they can't find it in Canada through a criminal background check. It doesn't exist. It doesn't show. So it's okay like that. But I still got to, people still going to wonder what I did between 2005 or 2003 and 2012. So,
right. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be a hard thing. You know, I lie about some of my jobs. I'm like, I don't have no fucking clue where I worked when. I'm like, yeah, I'll just make up some dates.
Yeah,
if you guys are that fucking interested, you go figure it out. I don't have no recollection of when I worked and where I worked where.
That's it.
You know, and I've always tried to work for myself, so I can't verify nothing.
Yeah. I know that's my concern now with this move to Quebec. I'm going to have to get through all the vetting process to get an apartment, right?
Yeah.
And of course, they want to see proof of employment and all these other kind of things. It's okay.
Income,
because my wife has her offer letter, right, from her new employer,
her new job, right?
Yeah, I don't really intend to push too hard.
Yeah, if you have to, you're gonna. But if you don't have to, we're gonna try to do this on our own.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Morning, Andrew. How you doing?
Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Andrew. Mr. High. I mean, Mr. Slow. Why do I call him Mr. High
Mr.
now?
High.
Because you're high and he's slow. And
well, he could be high too.
He's bitching about his cartridge.
It is Friday after. Oh yeah, it's still giving him a headache.
Well, not a headache. He just says he's not really thinking. He thinks he's getting. I don't know. He's from Britain. How do you figure him out? Who knows what they're talking about?
Well, that's really the problem. Just give me 1 second. I just got to respond to this text.
Absolutely, we're not working. Relax.
No, it's just that I can't take the call right now, but this is important.
I'm just kidding. I don't care.
Yeah,
I can handle it. I've handled it before. So, Mr. Slow says over there that it's sad news about the vape. It's okay. I get the feeling, but I was awake most of the night, and I had to roll a few to get to go to sleep finally. So maybe it's a sativa, but you said it was an indica, right? Maybe it's a sativa making you happy and high and giving you that little bit of energy to make you not go to sleep. But if you switch and get an indica one, maybe that might help with the sleepy part. Yep. That's what I say. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon, actually. I don't know if this is going to work. I think I'm just going to start working 12-hour days, Dr. High.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's for an apartment that I really am very interested in.
Listen, you do what you do, man. You turn your box off if you need me to. I'll pull you down. I can handle this.
No, it's okay like that. It's just it's so stressful, right? Trying to find a place when you can't go and see them, you can't meet with the people. Like, I've had my daughter go take a look, but it's not the same, right?
Sure, you want to look at it. You're the one that's going to live there, not your daughter.
Yeah, that's right. But my daughter knows us.
You trust her, of course.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is for me, my daughter and I were laughing, and I told her straight out. I said, you know what? I'd rather remain invisible until the deal is sealed. Plain and simple.
Right.
Because,
Let her just take care of it all.
You
You
know,
were
I-
renting the house.
yeah, I can't get around the way I look, right? I can't get around my tattoos. I can't get
You're
away.
a very handsome man, sir.
Well, thank you, but a lot of people think I look like a biker, so it's a concern. So, well, you wouldn't think a lot of people would worry about it, but a lot of people do. So we just careful
damn.
about those things. I know it's
What's
just
it
public
called?
perception, right? It's
I'm
called
so used to turning
stereotyping.
my head this way to talk to you now that I have to. It's bad.
It's called
Anyway,
stereotyping.
what's it called? Racism? Is it racism? No, it's not racism, but it's some sort of ism. Where they don't like us tattooed
It's
freaks.
stereotyping.
Yeah, stereotype. There it is. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, it's stereotyping.
Yeah, because we got long hair. Well, some of
Yeah.
us have long hair. Some of
I
us
did.
have no hair
I used to have very long hair.
and tattoos all over us, so they don't like us.
Perfect. Good.
Long-haired hippie freaks need
Long
not
haired
apply.
hippie freaks need not apply.
Right.
Yes, that's what it said. Indica.
Yes, I know you love us.
Thank you, Robert.
Every
We
day.
appreciate that.
Good morning, everybody. Please share it out and tell everybody we're live. They forget maybe that they're high or something, and they forgot we're on.
Well, we done gone switched up the game, right? So
Yeah, well, yeah.
You
Like
gotta
I said,
remember,
it's not gonna work. It's not working
we're
for me,
stoners.
sir.
we're
I was in
stoners,
here.
and
Well,
most
go ahead.
of
I'm
the-
sorry.
I was just going to say we're stoners, and most of the people that are spending time with us are too. So
Right.
it surprised me to. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Christopher today. He sent me a picture this morning. I didn't respond to the message simply because I wanted to talk about it on the show. So his plants are looking fantastic. Ah, there you go.
Wow, you're psychic.
Speak and it shall happen. Did you hear what I just said, Christopher?
Roll it, and it will happen.
That's right. I'm a firm believer, right, in the power of the mind to bypass and travel through the universe to manifest. And there's a prime example right now.
Perfect timing.
Does it get any more better than that?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Is,
that's
is,
phenomenal.
is Mrs. High home today?
She does work today, but she's home at the moment.
Is she in there watching TV?
No.
And go turn the shit off, bro.
Oh, it's still on.
I can hear it.
I didn't even think about it. Yeah, it's just for the dog.
Damn dog doesn't. He can be listening to WTHC radio right now. Yeah, I can hear whoever's talking, Oprah in the background there talking.
Never be Oprah on my TV.
I figured that's why I said Oprah.
No Oprah, no Dr. Phil.
No Dr. Phil, Lori. You heard that, Lori? No Dr. Phil. Damn it.
No, that was probably the news, most likely. So
I was working, Raggy. I was working.
So, Chris, your plants are looking phenomenal. Now, you asked me this morning if you had access to another light, should you add that light in? No problem at all with doing that. The only thing you need to consider is that once you add that light, you're going to increase the temperature inside the tent because more lights, more heat. So you want to pay attention to that increase in temperature. The other thing I noticed in your tent is you don't have a fan. So you should have a small oscillating fan inside of the tent also to move the air around, help control the temperature. And the other thing it does is when the wind blows the plant, it creates a little bit of stress for the plant. It gives it just the right kind of stress, like it would receive in nature, right? And your plants are going to be pretty hardy from what I'm seeing. That means when the buds form, they're going to get heavy. And heavy buds break branches.
Yeah.
So you want to give that plant as much strength as you can naturally.
Well, Dr. High,
Yeah.
Can I interrupt really quick? Eventually, I'm pretty sure Christopher is going to be growing them indoors, so we're going to be clipping them, and they're going to grow up. So those buds are all actually going to be up legs, right? Or no? Okay.
Yeah, he's growing indoors.
Right.
So
So
you want to look at plant training, right?
Yeah, so we're not
Okay.
really gonna have to worry about the wind as much because they'll be indoors. But
Okay.
I mean, I still see what you're saying with the wind and
Yeah.
the whole thing. But you know what I
That's
mean? Like,
perfect.
but we were talking about his trimming them and keeping them so that they're short, only 2 feet tall, kind of shit. You know?
Yeah, so that he's got the maximum amount of canopy, right? The maximum top of the canopy there. That's the idea. When you're
Right.
constructed in high grow, you need a fat grow, right?
That's true. Are you in the canopy, Christopher? I mean, are you in the vault?
Yeah.
So the vault, he can actually grow fairly a little higher than what we were talking about,
Well,
right?
no, because he's using a tent. To me, it
Tent
looks like
in the
it's
vault.
maybe a 2 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot tent would be my guess from what I'm seeing. Um, but yeah, you got the fan going in there, so that's perfect. That's good. I just couldn't see it from the picture, but yeah, it's important to have a fan in there.
Yeah, I wasn't
Absolutely.
questioning you.
But yeah,
I would never question you. I
no,
was
no,
just
I know you weren't questioning, no. But
I
yeah,
was
by
just
all means,
thinking
Chris,
out loud.
adding a second light can only be beneficial because I think you said you got a 300 water in there. Um, so if you add the second light, you'll be up to 600 watts. 600 watts for the two plants will be no problem at all. You should be able to produce a fairly good harvest.
Harvest.
Yeah, that's what
Harvest.
it's all about.
Like one of my favorite words now.
Yeah.
Harvest. Harvest time. I can't wait
One
to
thing,
harvest.
how long do you how much longer do you want to go before you flip your light cycle, Chris? Before you actually start to flower the plants?
You don't know. He
Because
says you tell us. Hi,
well,
Ashley.
one thing we don't know. Hi, Ashley. How are you? One thing we don't know: are you growing autoflowers, um, or are they not autoflower? If they're autoflower, you don't really got to consider yourself. When you flip, they'll do it on their own. But if they're not autoflowers, out of curiosity, what's your thought process on when you'd like to switch them over?
All my seed people out there, I need some autoflowers. Hook a brother up. I live in Pennsylvania. It snows here a lot.
Yeah. But you got such a short season anyway, right?
No.
Tailored herbs and concentrates.
Hi, Taylor. Oh, I know who that is. That's THNC.
Oh, is it?
It's THNC. Taylor Herbs and Concentrates in the house.
Oh, that's perfect. That's very creative.
Very cool. Yes, I like it. Tailored herbs and
So Brian wants to know what they're talking about when they say you lollipop um, a cannabis plant.
lollipop, lollipop.
So basically, lollipopping is when you remove everything on the plant except for the budding sites, for the flowering sites. So you don't want to do that all in one shot because it's just too much stress for the plant, right? So as you're in flower, you have normally, let's say, probably average of 6 weeks of flower for most. 56 days, 63 days, that's a really normal window for the photocycle, for the flowering phase. So you don't want to do it all at once, but as the weeks go on, you want to slowly strip that plant. So when you're down to your last 3 weeks, you really only want to have your colas there and the leaf sites that are coming out through the colas, because of course without that you don't have photosynthesis. So you leave some leaf on the plant in order to convert the nutrients into the energy and the sugars that the plant needs to grow. But yeah.
Yeah, I know it's you, pothead. How are you? King Solomon Seeds, how are you? Good to see you. Mwah.
How you doing, Big Solomon Seeds? Yeah, I'd really love to be able to figure out a way to share images at some point, because it's so much easier. Like for Brian's question, it would be so much easier for me to be able to show the example, right? To talk about it is one thing, but I'm sure, Brian, if you slip through Facebook and some of the groups, the cannabis groups, and I'm sure you're a part of them like I am, you will see some images of plants that are really, really bare, from the dirt to just below where the buds are.
Sorry.
And really all you're seeing on the plant are the buds at that point. Most of the leaves are gone and everything, and that's really that's the image you're looking at when you're talking about lollipopping. That's what you're gonna see.
All right. I did the best I could, Dr. High. I can't wait no longer. I ordered my stuff yesterday, so if you guys haven't ordered it, you need to get it today. Order it now, the CBD isolate, so we can all make it together. It'll be here in a couple days.
Yeah, it should ship pretty quick. You should probably have it on Monday.
I hope so. But they didn't give me no like tracking number or nothing. It was kind of weird.
They're probably just using first class mail. US
probably
first class mail. $15. I mean, what would that equate to in Canada?
Yeah, it's first class.
Yeah, that kind of postage would be like a 2 or 3 day delivery.
Yeah,
that value.
I'm thinking the next couple days, probably by Monday the latest.
Yeah, nice.
If it doesn't make it here by the weekend, yeah. So we'll be making it by Monday, hopefully.
Don't be snorting any before we get to the preparation time.
I know. I'm not even going to open it because I have bad dreams about white powder and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to have Mrs. Hippie actually make it because I'll be a puppet, right? So I won't be able to make it.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a challenge.
I'll have her come in and make it, and I'll just sit here and entertain while she makes it. So I don't get too tempted to start with that stuff. I gave that stuff up years ago.
Oh, this is not the same thing anyway. I don't even know if your body could take it in like that with CBD. I don't know. It's not something I've ever really looked into or
listen, if anybody, I tried to put alcohol in my eye. I put vodka in my eye once when we were kids. We said
that was LSD.
It wasn't bright. Yeah, it wasn't we said we can do it with LSD. Why can't we do it with absolute vodka?
Yeah.
And it didn't work. In fact, it burnt really, really bad for quite some time.
Yeah. Imagine, it feels on an open wound, right? You're actually pretty
It wasn't my brightest move that day. I'm not going to lie. I might have been drunk and high.
I don't imagine.
It wasn't my sharpest day. I learned quickly, though. I never did it again.
It's hot or we're hot, Facebook user. Trying to figure out what that means.
We're hot, dude.
You never know until you try.
Always tell people.
Sunflowers. Is sunflowers a euphemism for our favorite plant, or are they truly sunflowers?
No, that's Curly Cal, and today's her anniversary. Happy anniversary to Curly Cal.
Happy anniversary.
And Chucky, 5 years today, and they're out at the Sunflower Festival today. That's so sweet.
Nice. All those beautiful wedding pictures there today. Cal posted. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. My next anniversary is going to be 25 years.
24 for me.
Yeah.
Curly, we got to run a commercial, Dr. High.
Adopt US Kids presents.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Hippie and Dr. High on WTHC.
Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate teen slang.
Damn
now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad.
Well, maybe.
It simply means that something is
I don't
awesome
think so.
or cool. Another one.
You can clone just about any plant, though.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe you could clone it, but I don't know. That's a tough one. They're hard to grow in the first place.
Another word you hear is jelly.
I've always
jelly
heard.
Is a shorter,
I've never tried. Mississippi's tried a couple times.
Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak to.
I wonder what sunflower seeds are like before they're roasted.
In foster care will think you're rad, just the same.
Oh, you've never seen them? The plant, they actually fall out of the fucking top of the plant once they get heavy enough. The whole top of the plant gets too heavy from all the seeds.
Yeah, they're all in the
Oh
shelter,
my
right?
goodness. Yeah, go ahead,
This is the story of a very special woman.
Yeah, funnily enough, I grow a lot of cannabis, but I never really bothered trying to grow anything else.
Yeah, Mississippi plays with all those other kinds of plants. Glitch might be able to tell you. Glitch, help her out there.
She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had
Good morning.
Good
afternoon.
She masqueraded as a
I'm
regular.
going to start readjusting my mind here to the afternoon time.
Everyone
Hey,
knows Miss Gabriella.
My buddy's
I
dad's
still call
name was
her
Herb.
Mom.
Herbie. We used to call him Herbie. Rest in
Your
peace,
hero
Herbie.
needs you now, and
The love bug.
AARP is here to help.
Yeah,
Find the care guides you need to help complete with
right?
and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and
Why
the
you better mute us, because on TikTok you'll get banned.
I don't even play on TikTok anymore. I come by every once in a while. I'll say hi to my friends. I miss them. I have to play nursery rhymes when I'm over there.
Yep.
Every single day.
If you're ever in need, you know we smoke lots of weed
Every single day. Every single day.
Well, I know it seems like all I ever talk about is smoking weed, but I know you like it too, and my bag don't have a seed, so I'm motivated singing songs and puffing lots of cannabis. I've been to Amsterdam a time or two, and hallelujah for it. Sheba double bubble gum and lots of cream, Moroccan hash, purple power, yellow cab. I love that juicy fruity gas. If you want answers on the positive effects of sticky green, just hang with me, and in one day we'll smoke more than you've ever seen. It's colder when it's hot, you know we smoke lots of pot every single day, every single day. If you're ever in need, you know we smoke lots of weed every single day, every single day. Puffing trees and singing songs, rolling blunts and packing bongs every single day, every single day. So if you plan on stopping by, you can plan on getting high every single day, every single day.
Hi, Marcel.
You know it, clap your hands. If you're lifted and you show it, clap your hands.
Morning, Marcel. How are you today?
And I'm proud, making music that is funny, floating on a puffy cloud. How'd you like to be my friend? Cause there is no stress involved. If you're having trouble with somebody, leave them problem solved. I will smoke a hoot or poke a cooter, never be in misery. Cause life is good and so is weed. I'm feeling great cause I am free. It's colder when it's hot, you know we smoke lots of pot every single day, every single day. If you're ever in need, you know we smoke lots of weed.
Absolutely, King Solomon. That's what it's all about. Fight the stigma and have fun every day. It's Friday is right.
If you plan on stopping by, you can plan on getting high every
Single day, every single day.
What's up, guys? Sticky Stank Bud here, and you're tuned in live on 365 to WTHC Radio.
WTHC, we're back. It's the Hippie and DoktorHigh hanging out. What's up, High?
Oh, I'm just looking at my messages,
Oh, speaking
and
of High.
I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it once we were live or not, about Chardell.
I think we were talking about it, and I cut you off halfway through because we were getting ready to go.
Great. So the other day, a lady commented on one of my one of my posts on Facebook, but it was for a blog article that she had read, and it was so complimentary and such a beautiful comment. You know, I responded, and we went back and forth a couple of times, and she sent me an episode of a podcast that she was the guest on. And this lady has, this lady has dealt with esophageal cancer, and it was very advanced by the time it had been caught. So she started to go through traditional treatments, and then learned from somebody that cannabis could be a potential therapy for her. Now, she had used cannabis back, 40 years ago when she was maybe in university or as a young adult, right? Had smoked some weed, but had given it up for a very, very long time. So was really out of touch with how it is these days. So throughout the course of her treatment, she met other people who were dealing with cancer, and the topic came around to RSO, and she found somebody to help her learn about it and to teach her how to process it and make it herself. And she went to using RSO as a form of treatment towards her cancer, in conjunction with the other things she was doing.
Of course, yeah, in conjunction.
Yeah.
For a better quality of life.
That's it. And now, since bringing the RSO into the equation, she's now 3 years to the point where when she goes for testing, they find no evidence of disease.
Oh, Again, another miracle story about RSO.
Yeah, this is really really very interesting. So I've asked her to join us
Oh my
to
goodness!
talk about her journey and
Absolutely.
explain everything to her. And the reason I was giving the thumbs up and was smiling because she had just gotten back to me and said that it would be her pleasure to join us.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
let me not put words in her mouth. She just says, let me know what works for you. I can work around your schedule, very flexible. Just would like, if possible, 24 hours notice. So I think we'll arrange to have Chardell join us
Absolutely.
next week.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's a great thing. I mean, I understand a lot about RSO, but it appears that in her case, it has had some really, really striking results. And also, she's a part of a community of cancer sufferers who have also been using RSO. So not only will we be able to understand her story, but she'll be able to tell us about others that she knows and the trajectory of their situation based upon.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
So I think it would be really, really interesting, and I'm pretty excited to get into it. She's well spoken, and
you know what
I
we
listen
should
to the
do?
podcast. What's that?
We should talk to her for a future show where we can bring a bunch of those RSO people on and do a show about all of them. You know what I mean?
Well, this is something we could maybe look at doing after we do the initial one with Chardell. Sure.
Right. That's what I said. We'll do that with her, and then we'll talk to her about maybe bringing a whole bunch of them because I can get like 7 or 8 of us up in this box here.
Yeah. And she's quite an advocate for it also. I mean, she's participated in studies in the UK and Australia. I mean, so she's become very, very involved.
I saw my good friend Jorge Cervantes is on his way to Germany this morning.
Oh, nice.
He said, lots of work to do over in Germany. Let's go, everybody.
A lot of work. And he's right next door, right? So it's really easy for him to get there.
He was already
getting he's in Spain, I think, right?
Yeah, he's in Spain, yeah. So he's already on his way to Germany to help them figure everything out because they're getting ready.
But if any of you out there listening are interested in a preview of what we might have with Chardell, I have shared the podcast this morning on my feed. So it's there. You can go in and listen to it. It's 20 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less. But yeah, it'll give you an idea of what the potential is there. And then when we get her in, we'll get more in depth.
Our friend Marcel is back in the hospital again.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And unfortunately, his
didn't
kidneys,
go well with the doctors the other day.
No, his kidneys failed on him.
Oh, shit.
And he passed out, and then his brother woke him or whatever, and now that he's in the hospital again. And Marcel, prayers to you, buddy. I love you, man. Get better. I don't like this shit.
Marcel.
I hate seeing you in the hospital, man.
We're with you here. We got
everybody should do a prayer for Marcel because he's got anemia real bad, I guess, and they're trying to figure it all out.
RSO, Marcel, is Rick Simpson Oil, and he's a gentleman from Ontario who about 25 years ago took cannabis and he used naphtha in the beginning, which nobody would do now, but you would do it with alcohol now. It's just much safer, ethanol. And basically you use that alcohol to extract from the cannabis plant all the cannabinoids, all the beneficials, and then you concentrate that by removing the alcohol and making a really thick oil that's fairly high in THC, CBN, and all the available cannabinoids. So basically the treatment regimen with RSO for somebody with cancer is 60 grams in 90 days or 90 grams in 90 days. No, I think it's 60 grams in 90 days.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it's fairly intense, but Rick Simpson himself documented close to 5,000 interactions with RSO and cancer patients where positive outcomes were achieved. And a lot of these were documented by the doctors also who were treating these individuals. So this is why RSO has gained a lot of attention and notice when it comes to cancer treatment, because there has been a fairly good body of evidence that something is happening when people are including RSO in their treatment. Yeah,
I'm going to interrupt. It's not just, and it's going further than just cancer, because, like I said, I've had two friends that have had kidney failure, and they were on the verge of going on to dialysis, and they both started RSOs, and their kidney failure has stopped and has actually started to decrease, and they're on the path to betterness, not worse. So that, and then our friend Lee Hacker, who we've had on, he's been here a few times. He told us all about it. But and then I have that story about my mom that I always like to tell about back in the 80s when they were probably. I lived very close to a very big medical hospital on Long Island, and the university, Stony Brook University and Hospital. It's a very big medical hospital on Long Island, and they do a lot of teaching of students and stuff there, Yeah. So, and my wife worked for the president of the college side, and the president of the college side heard the story about my mom, and I was dating my wife at the time, and they gave her some stuff, and we didn't know what it was because we were, I was only 22 or 23 or so when it happened, and it was probably an RSO because it was a jar of like this black tar stuff, and I didn't know, and I wasn't even thinking about it, because I didn't even know what an RSO was back then. But they had to cook it every day. They had to make it into a certain type of thing. She said it was gross. She hated it, but she was told that she was only going to have 6 months to live, and she ended up living for 2.5 years. So I don't know if it was that, but I mean,
Well, that's the problem, right? Is that although we have all this anecdotal evidence that there's a lot of potential there, there's no university taking a group of cancer patients and administering RSO and following the results, right? So the doctors that do learn about it because the patients take the initiative to bring this into their own lives. So the doctors learn about it through their patient. But what we really need to do is, let's say, a big teaching university like you're talking about, a medical school that has a hospital attached to it, would be to take a segment of these oncology patients and try RSO with them.
Absolutely.
You know what I
don't
mean?
know
Like,
why they haven't. I mean, but maybe they are, and they don't just not telling nobody because they gave that shit to my mom, and that was in the 80s. That was in the 80s.
Yeah,
89, 90, right around 89, 90.
Yeah. We hope it doesn't get that far for you either, Marcel.
The 90s, I'm sorry.
Do a good job.
Sorry, 90s, 99, 98, 99.
So this is within that scope because Rick Simpson really did that oil like 25, 30 years ago. So we're talking like mid-90s was when he used it himself to treat his skin cancer. And that was really the initial purpose, was for skin cancer. It was applied to the lesion topically.
Right.
And that's where the result was being seen.
Well,
and then
this was definitely made into a tea of some sort. She had to make it into a tea of every night, but they probably didn't know as much then, They were like, yeah, try this in a tea every night, put this much in, boil it, make it hot, and they were learning. And would RSO help with depression?
Yeah. All
There's
cannabis products have the potential. Yeah, so I was going to say almost any cannabis preparation has the potential to help with depression. That's why you see it being used with soldiers, with veterans who come back, PTSD, things like that, because a lot of the PTSD has a component of depression.
Right. But it's for an hour or so, and then you got to do more because the depression will start to come back.
Right. But the thing is, with cannabis, you can control your own dosing regimen.
Right.
And you can't really get yourself into any trouble. Now, the question is, Marcel, have you ever used cannabis at all? Or would this be your first, if you decided it was something you wanted to explore, would it be your very first experience with cannabis? Or do you have, at some point in the past, has it been a part of your lifestyle? That would make me curious.
Oh, he's a freak. He's a freak.
I think Brian meant to say, and FICO is the same as RSO. I think. FICO is full extract cannabis oil, which is really, really very similar. Phoenix Tears is also
Oh, I'm sorry,
the
Taylor.
same as RSO.
Pothead.
So,
Did you see your question there too?
um,
Tailored to herbs and
Only on
concentrates. Says
TikTok.
Holly on TikTok. So she's live on TikTok and they're watching or listening to us. Says she has to take 3 or more grams sometimes.
That's serious. I mean, when you're taking 3,000 milligrams of RSO in a day, that's quite serious.
Last time he was 16 and he's like 76 now or something like that.
Okay.
It's been a
So
couple days.
my advice to you, Marcel, is gummies are a good place to start. The only drawback with the gummy is once you've consumed it, you have no control over the experience from that point forward. So if you do choose to go with a gummy, I would suggest your first dose be 2.5 milligrams, which you can buy in any legal dispensary. I think you're in the Toronto area.
Yeah, he's up by you.
Yeah, I believe he's in the Toronto area. So no problem with access to legal points of distribution. You'll have.
I think he said he has a dispensary at the bottom of his building, actually.
Yeah, you have Fire and Flower and Tokyo Smoke, and all the main players will be in Toronto. So I would suggest that you first start with a dose of 2.5 milligrams of THC. And if you can find one that has some CBD also, try to get a mix. But I think most likely you're going to find THC only, no CBD. But start with 2.5 milligrams, eat the gummy, wait for a minimum of 2 hours, and then gauge your feeling. Okay, so Tokyo Smoke, absolutely. You'll be able to find the product there. But a 2.5 milligram dose is the right place to start. And then you have to see the effect on you at that point.
If you're a sissy, 2.5, what the? Come on, Dr. High.
If you're a beginner.
Dr. Semi-High? Dr. Semi-High?
Marcel hasn't used cannabis in 50 years.
I'm just busting your balls. I know. I'm just kidding.
Start, you know? That's the right place to start. But let me assure you this, Marcel. No harm can come from trying. So you're not going to put yourself in any jeopardy by giving it a shot. You know, and you should be able to pick up those 2 doses for less than $10. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I was just kidding. Yeah, I want Marcel to be happy and healthy. That's all I want. But what I wanted to ask you is, you guys being in Canada and Health Canada being free, do they give you weed when you need? If you're on weed, if you have a medical card, are you in the hospital? Do they have a place for you guys to smoke your medicine? Do they take care of your weed medical people because of Health Canada and all that kind of stuff, or is it just like us here and they don't care?
Well, I'm quite sure that in the hospital, if you're a medical cannabis patient, you could use anything except smoking. So I think that that's where you'll encounter a difficulty. If you smoke in a pipe or a bong or via a joint, you'd probably have trouble using that in the hospital setting. You would be required to go to the smoking section outside. But if you're using a tincture, an oil, an edible, and it's prescribed, no problem.
Do they give it to you though? Like if yours prescribed marijuana, or do you have to have your own? Like if I'm in the hospital, say I'm in the hospital, like our friend over here, Marcel, and say he's used to edibles. Do they have edibles there in the hospital? Like when they go, like when you're in the emergency room, they're like, here's 2 Percocets, have a nice day and go home. Right. Instead, do they go, here's an edible, take it and go home? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, to the best of my knowledge, and I'm not going to state 100% because unequivocally I don't know.
Okay.
But I will say that they do not.
Yeah. That's not
the only people I know in this country at this point who have absolute free access to medical cannabis products are veterans of the Canadian military through the treatment programs that are put into place for dealing with the PTSD, for dealing with fallout from injury. things like that. I know as a veteran in Canada, if you're prescribed cannabis, you have access to it at no cost to yourself. There are also some insurance companies that will cover the cost of prescribed cannabis as medication, but not all. There are just some at this point in time. I also know that the union here called Unifor does provide coverage for medical cannabis for its union members. So there are some places that you can access free of charge medical marijuana, but for the most part, the burden is on the patient.
I have so much to tell you, Dr. High.
The worst part.
Uh-oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say the worst part. When the burden is on the patient to provide their own medicine, they don't even receive the benefit of a tax relief on cannabis, right? So if you're using it as medicine, you should not be subject to the very heavy taxation that cannabis is subject to in Canada. That should be removed from the equation because you should not be paying taxes on medication. We don't pay taxes on medication from a pharmacy if the doctor prescribes pills. Why should it be any different with cannabis? It shouldn't be. So go ahead. You had so much to say.
I have so many things, and they just keep popping in my head here. All right, so now they're gone. Oh no, here they are. They're back. So my friend Pothead, who works at that wonderful place called Tailored Herbs and Concentrates.
Who's suggesting rectal delivery?
She's suggesting rectal delivery, or maybe that's who she said takes 3,000 milligrams up their butt.
Oh, geez.
She's not there. Oh, damn it! I was trying to give a big shout out. Anyway, her boss.
They're listening to us in the store when Pothead's not even there.
They're always listening. Yeah, they're always listening.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much.
They are fantastic. I love them. She's awesome. She's like one of my besties. She's like my mom in the family group. No, I'm just kidding. And she's gonna beat my ass. She's younger than me. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the boss, the owner. I don't know his first name yet, but
it could be Taylor.
It could be Taylor. What, Mom? See, sorry, Mom. Now I can't remember. Oh, he has so graciously. Did I tell you this already? They're sending me a joint.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say you can send it to me. I'm in the same country, and I can tell Hippie all about it.
No, but that hash thing that that we've been talking about a lot lately. Yeah, so I am excited.
Nice.
Not really excited because it's not really happening.
That'll be curious.
She says she can send you one too. So maybe we'll get them together and we'll smoke them together on the show.
We'll smoke them live.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd be down. Always down.
Yep, he wants one too.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Oh, they're beautiful. I'm so curious. And from what I see, it looks like you can smoke it 100 times before it'll go out. So that's one thing.
It's likely to burn extremely slowly.
Oh, yeah. She smoked it like 3 days in a row. She was smoking on that thing. Yeah,
that's the thing, right? When you get into hash and when you get into like real hash,
it's so long since I've had
forever.
I mean, I had that one dude that sold me that bag of yellow powder. That dude that sold me the bag of yellow powdered hash, and I was like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
And he said it was hash. I was like, all right, I'll take it.
I saw a great video on YouTube yesterday of a guy doing dry sift full melt. And basically, he's taking a screen and just putting the weed on the screen and moving it back and forth, and then removing the screen and collecting all the trichrome from underneath, and then get a nice pile of trichrome, and then taking that trichrome and putting it into a rosin press, squeezing out the rosin and getting this most beautiful full melt hash. Oh, I mean, I can only imagine the flavor, what it was like, right? But hash rosin was awesome.
I can't wait till I grow up and I can experience all these wonderful things.
Yeah,
Someday.
hash has a great smell, Marcel. Look at you chiming in with, I love the smell of hash. I like
He
that.
was hot knife it when he was 16. The memories are coming back now.
Yeah,
See?
hot knife was
You're
a
not
big
dead
thing
yet,
about-
buddy. You're not dead yet. Let's go. Get up. Anyway,
Yeah.
next story. You ready? So
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, last week, actually, it's almost 3 weeks. Wednesday, it'll be 3 weeks that I haven't been to the dispensary. I bought enough for 3 weeks this time. It's lasted because I'm going slower. I'm listening to DoktorHigh. I'm not taking big bowls and cramming them. I'm enjoying myself. So anyway, long story short, well, I'm really not going to be short, but long story. I had to go there, remember, and I told you about the whole issue with the $50, and you couldn't
Yep.
I couldn't get in, and then they made me go out to the car and refill out and do the thing.
Yes.
And I totally forget that my doctor, I still need to make an appointment with my doctor. So I look at my card yesterday, and it's expired. The date is the 14th. So I'm fucked. I'm like, I'm supposed to hang out with my friends this weekend, and I'm supposed to go to the dispensary with my friends and pick up stuff and go and hang out.
So why don't
And
you just pop over to New Jersey? Fuck the
Well,
dispensary.
well, because New Jersey sucks and it's a smelly state. Ugh, man. It's the
Yeah.
armpit of the United States.
It's still recreationally legal, and that's all you care about.
I'm just kidding. So anyway, long story short, I'm like, Mrs. Hippie, we're fucked. And she's like, why? And I tell her the whole story. And she's
We're-
like,
Mrs. Hippie, we're fucked.
well,
Yeah,
because
Mrs.
she knows that when I don't have my medicine, she's fucked. So I'm like, we're fucked because I don't have my medicine, and you're gonna pay for it, young lady.
You're gonna look like that 5-year-old kid in
I'm
line
gonna
at
be
the
an
grocery
angry
store who
fucker.
can't get the chocolate bars they're
Come
checking
on,
out.
Mrs. Hippie. Come on.
Mom!
Mrs.
Oh,
Hippie
you
is
want this one?
amazing. Mrs. Hippie is amazing. So it's like 6:00 in the evening yesterday, and she calls and she's like, I hope they answer. And I don't know how she did it, but she called and they're like, whatever. And they gave her a list of, oh no, maybe she went online because whatever. They gave her a list of available appointments for today.
Oh,
And
nice.
there was one available appointment left. Dink. So in the middle of my show this afternoon, I will be pausing to hang out with my doctor to get my medical marijuana card. I won't have the official card, but I think that I have my old card. I paid both of their bills. They should still just let me in. I'm just waiting for it to come in the mail. I
Yeah,
paid
that's
him.
it.
That
And
cost
your
an extra $100, and then the
perhaps
50
your
for that.
doctor can email you the prescription right away, so you at least have proof that the prescription has been renewed.
Well, but my goal is I'm going to get him on the air. I already told him. Mrs. Hippie wrote to him in the message that we're interested in talking to him on the air, and then when I talk to him today, I'm going to talk him into coming on the air and coming with us one day and hanging out and talking about being a medical marijuana doctor.
So does he? Is his practice focused around medical cannabis prescriptions, or is he just a regular doctor who is willing to prescribe to those patients who are interested in utilizing cannabis as a form of treatment for themselves? Hello.
Don't quote me.
Okay.
But as far as I know, 100% medical marijuana.
Oh, then he'd be exceptionally interesting to speak with.
Absolutely. He's
And
an
he came out the
amazing
other way.
guy too. I told you he was an OR surgeon, or no, an emergency room surgeon. So like when the car accident happened and your family member was being brought in there, he was the one that was doing everything he could to save their lives. And his wife,
a trauma surgeon.
Yeah, trauma surgeon. Yeah, that's the word. And his wife was a nurse, trauma nurse, and they worked together. And she was very interested in the medical marijuana field, is from what the story I remember. And he started to get into it and reading about it and learning about it. And he said, let's do this. Let's get out of this craziness that we deal with every day, and let's help people. And so now that's what they do.
Oh,
And
no,
they-
it would
they
be
have-
exceptionally interesting to speak with someone who's really focused on that, a doctor who's really focused. I'd love to know the backstory
I would
about
too.
how the transition occurred from traditional medicine to cannabis medicine and his psychology. What was the catalyst that made him start to gravitate towards doing what most doctors won't do, and things like that. I mean, that would be a really, really incredible episode, in my opinion.
I agree. And he is a great guy. So, he's just overall a really nice guy. So I'm hoping that he's going to say yes, but I can't guarantee anything.
Right.
Well, we know dates, right? Who knows?
We know from experience that those of us in the cannabis community have a different type of enlightenment than those who do not use cannabis. There is something that occurs to you when you start to become a cannabis user where your mind changes, right? Your tolerance for your fellow man changes. Your concern for the environment changes. You know what I mean? Like, I think, in my opinion, it overall kind of makes people better people. That's just my own personal experience.
It just makes you happy. It just makes people tolerable. Like me smoking makes me tolerable. And then for me to go out and hang out with a bunch of people who are all smoking is just a whole bunch of tolerable people having a good time.
Now let me ask you all out there who hang out with Hippie on Discord. Is he truly a tolerable person? That's a loaded question. Watch the comments fly now.
No. Curly Kel's probably picking sunflowers, hopefully. Lori's the only one that's going to rip me apart. Lori will rip me apart, but the rest of them should be all right.
That's funny. Oh, yeah, she won't even respond, eh?
She's already laughing. Tolerable.
So, Lori, I just wanted to let you know, I was looking at my production partner today, and your canvas is in production. So it should be shipping pretty soon. I will let you know exactly when that's done. But I don't think it'll be too long before you receive it. I would think you may have that by the end of next week.
I think she's already so 3 times today. Today. She flips me off constantly, But
you're right, Marcel. That could be a loaded question. But that's why I asked it.
Already she's flipped me off 3 times today, and we haven't even started the show. We just started. Speaking of which, I got to do a commercial. We'll be right back. You're hanging with Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh on WTHC.
You're listening. Cable just popped in.
THC Radio on Live 365.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying,
that's what I do.
Yes, sure. And I totes love going to the mall.
I just said that.
Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter.
I said when I come tomorrow or Monday, you're going to see me. I'm going to have a purple nose from getting punched by Lori.
Oh, because you're going to spend some time with them over the weekend, eh?
That's where I'm supposed to, with the whole card situation may be an issue. That's what I'm hoping. It should be okay.
To learn more, visit
like you said, you're very close to New Jersey and to New York.
Brought to you
yeah, but we're going to West Virginia. We're not. We're going to the other side of Pennsylvania. We're not going that way.
Okay.
And Curly Kel, that's why we asked you if she could get it, because she couldn't get it.
In a matter of
good luck, Marcel. Hope you're feeling better. Have a good weekend.
Tell all the hot nurses Da.Hippie said hi.
Her knowledge was
just don't pinch them for them.
And still is.
Pinch them for me too. Tell them it was Da.Hippie.
And we're very curious to see if you decide to venture in with the gummies. I'm very, very curious to hear your experience.
Yes.
I do believe that you may find it
beneficial. A bear hug. She masqueraded.
Overall, it'll definitely help.
Work. But as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella.
Oh, Lori says you got it coming.
I got it coming. I know.
Your hero needs you now.
I deserve it.
And AARP
I'll
is
stand
here
there
to
and take it.
Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and
empty-handed.
resources at AARP.
He doesn't have fingers, Lori. What is he supposed to do?
I'll have my junk in my hand. Don't worry about it.
Stay by bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy
Perfect,
alcohol.
Marcel.
Love you, buddy. Get the hell out of that hospital, bro.
Each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org. I just want to give a huge shout out to Chuck over at Collins
Hey,
Painting
Jeff, how are
LTD.
you
You
today?
can find them over on Facebook. They're in
Hope you're
Ellensville,
doing
New
well.
York. Wow, what a great team over there.
What's up,
Really
Jeffrey?
amazing and always supporting us here over at WTHC.
Hey, Mississippi, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's Badass Crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them at the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
WTHC. Welcome back, everybody. You got the hippie hanging here. I want to thank everybody out there on Live 365 and TuneIn. And, of course, everybody over here on Facebook and YouTube chilling out with us today. I got the infamous, the famous Da.High with me here every day. He is amazing, a fountain of information. Not misinformation, like I usually say. He's got a lot of good information. His information's always good.
Thank you. I'm just looking at this.
Lori.
Lori says you're going to get to taste West Virginia smoke. At first, when she said VW smoke, I thought, does she drive a diesel? I wasn't equating it to West Virginia. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, right? Oh, but it says WV. I had it backwards anyway. Forget it. That's my dyslexic brain. My dyslexic brain. And she says, I think Junior and them are going to have the Hershey experience.
Yes, Dauphin, PA is right near Hershey, PA. So they, her husband and I guess grandson and daughter are coming with her. They're going to drop her off with us. And they're going to continue on another 20 minutes or so to the Hershey experience, which is...
Well, you need to go to the Hershey experience and get me a 5-pound Hershey bar and send it to Canada.
I don't know.
Because I'm excited.
You don't send me nothing from Canada.
I love Hershey. You know, it's kind of funny. We were talking about canopy growth the other day.
Uh-huh.
So when canopy growth started in Canada, it was a company called Tweed. That was the original. And Tweed started operations in Smith Falls, Ontario, in a Hershey chocolate factory. They bought the chocolate factory, and that's what they turned into their cultivation facility. Now, Canopy Growth is trying to cut 800 jobs and lower their footprint in the space. So Hershey is buying back the factory. Nice. For $58 million. Just in the news I saw yesterday.
See? Everything comes around for a reason.
Now, I want to ask Jeff a question.
Go for it.
First of all, I'm sorry to hear you.
Turn my air conditioner on while you do that, okay?
I hate to hear that you woke up like that with a migraine at 2 a.m. I'm sure nothing sucks worse than that. Do you use cannabis, Jeff, to combat the migraine? And if so, how do you go about that? What is the type of preparation you use? How do you dose for it?
Jeff uses cannabis for everything, man.
Right. But I'm just wondering if it's a specific go-to when the migraine comes in. Right? Because I'm just going to say for me, if I have a headache and I smoke a joint, sometimes that can make it worse. Like when I first started looking into cannabis and migraines, to me it was like, I didn't quite understand how that worked, right? Because my experience had kind of been different from that. If I had a bit of a headache and I smoked a joint, my headache would get worse. So I wasn't sure because I've not had the experience. How's it going, Tina? I tried smoking. I can't, makes it worse. Okay. So that's the experience I thought. Now, I can suggest something to you, Jeff.
Pussy.
The very first time that I understood the potential benefit of CBD was when I had a headache. I had a really bad headache one day. I don't actually get migraines, but I would imagine that this would have been fairly similar. I was nauseous, head pounding, couldn't stand the sound, and I'm just looking down at my coffee table in despair, not understanding how to escape this feeling. And I saw a bottle of CBD isolate that I had purchased a couple of weeks prior. It was the first time I had bought CBD isolate. I really didn't know what to do with it. I just bought it because I would buy anything cannabis related just to figure it out, right?
Right.
And I looked at it and I thought, I wonder if this would make a difference. So what I decided to do was try a dab with CBD. So I took a little bit of THC distillate because it's very sticky, and I rolled it in the CBD powder so that it basically looked like a little snowball of CBD, but the center was THC. Yeah. And I did the dab. And from the time I inhaled, before I went to exhale, the pounding stopped immediately. Immediately. I exhaled, and my wife was in the room with me, and she looked at me and she says, "What's wrong?" Because I had a confused look on my face. I couldn't quite understand what had happened because in a matter of seconds, the headache was entirely gone, and I felt normal. So I told her, I said, "I don't understand what happened, but, well, I mean, headache free. Let's go that way instead of normal. So she said to me, "I have a bit of a headache. Let me try it." So I prepared for her the same thing. She did it. And she had the same experience. Headache gone immediately. I thought, Jesus, that's really, really interesting. So fast forward a week or so, I have a friend of mine over. And he's sitting on the couch and he's stretching and he's like with his neck. And I'm like, "Terry, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm getting a migraine." I said, "I didn't know you got migraines. Do you get them bad?" He said, "I'm going to spend the next 3 days in the dark, puking and in the dark." He said, "They're miserable for me. I hate them." So I told him what had happened a couple of days prior with my wife and myself. I said, "Do you want to give it a try?" He's like, "I'll try anything." You know what I mean? To avoid what I got to go through. So I prepared the same preparation for him, the same dab, distillate, and CBD isolate. He did the dab. He sat there on the couch for a second, and I'm looking with him at, with anticipation, right, to see what happens. And I said, "So what do you say?" He said, "Boy, this is so weird. I feel like I do the day after my migraine is gone." So he had a really cool experience too. So that might be the secret. The secret might be a high dose of CBD with just a little bit of THC in there to combat the migraines. So it might be something to consider giving a try. I mean, we can't say for sure it'll work, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, and there is no danger in the attempt. So just my take on it and just my personal experience.
Yeah, like I said, that's the stuff I ordered, so it'll be here soon. We're going to be making isolate for everybody. Not for everybody, for me, but
for you,
for everybody to watch.
Yeah, exactly. We need to figure out how we're actually going to do that.
You can get it right at GVB Biofarm.
Listen, this is what I would suggest, Jeff. JVB Biofarm out of California. So I'm going to put the name of the company in the chat there. There you're able to source.
I just got it.
Quality California CBD, 99.9% pure CBD for $1 a gram. It actually costs you $1.50 a gram to ship it, but it only costs you $1 a gram to buy it. Now, you go down to your local dispensary, smoke shop, whatever, you're going to pay way too much money.
Out the ass.
Way too much money. So if instead of going to look for it, well, you might look for it now to try and combat the the situation you're in at the present moment. But thinking ahead, Jeff, this might be the way to go. To get that product, have it at home, $25. It's half the price it's going to cost you in a cart. And in that cart or in whatever you're not going to find. Yesterday, I looked through the dispensary, Apothecarium, your dispensary, and True Leaf, and I saw no product there greater than 38% CBD. 38% is okay, but with what you're doing, if you purchase the isolate, you have 100% control over the strength of your preparations. And from all the calculation we've done on the show over the past couple of weeks since this came up, you're looking at an out-of-pocket cost that is 10% of what it would cost you to purchase just one product from the dispensary, right? So this is really the way to go, is to make that at home yourself.
Yeah. So, and we're going to be making it in the next couple days, like probably next week sometime. As soon as the package gets here, you know, and I get the MCT oil, which Mississippi and I will run out at some point today and get.
Yeah, you can pick it up at a pharmacy or probably
I got a pharmacy right at the end of my block. I got a Rite Aid. So
Matthew?
I'll walk down there if I gotta. No, I won't. That's a lie. But anyway, yeah, we're getting it, and we're gonna be making it right here live on the air. So, and we're gonna make we're making different though. You're gonna want to keep his as a powder, right? I'm gonna be making the liquid.
Well, no, I mean we can look at different preparations, because you can utilize
that too, because you want to do a little bit a different way at the end too, right?
Oh, my pleasure, Jeff. Anytime.
Yeah, Jeff, when you go and you order, you got to hit it a couple times where you're ordering it to get it to go. Oh, Jesus, Matthew. Oh, here he goes. He's going to be sitting at the front door again. Hi, welcome to Fred Meyer's. Oh my
What's that?
He rolled his ankle again. This guy's a klutz. The other day, he put a pallet down. Somebody put a pallet down on his toe, and his whole toenail came off, and he was out of work for like 6 months, and he had to get a letter to come back. I'm like, it's a freaking toenail, bro. Suck it up. I bust his chops. No, I bust his chops. He's my buddy.
Pulling an ankle is a pain in the ass. I've done it.
Oh yeah, I know. I have bad ankles. Anyway, so we're gonna be making it in a couple different ways. I don't know why, because I only want it in one way, but because Dr.High said so. So I'll be making it in another way as well. What was that way you said yesterday? At the end, you were like, save a couple grams to do it this way too.
I don't remember.
Oh fuck! Come on.
I don't remember yesterday.
I got to do everything here.
Yeah, I don't remember yesterday's conversation.
You don't remember yesterday?
Right.
Well, yesterday we were talking about the powder, and we were going to say we're going to make it into, you know, the juice that you say I'm making it into, whatever I'm making it into. What are we making it into?
Into a vape.
Oil. Right, so I can vape it. Right, so when we're going to make it so I can vape it, and but you said we can do it another way as well, so we can teach them to do it that way as well. What was that way?
Well, because we also have the nano emulsification method, right? That little box just taught us.
Oh, right. So
thank you, Lord.
We can nano emulsify it as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lori. She's right. Powder.
Which would lead you to the fact that you need to do a little purchase on Amazon also.
Oh,
because you'll need a couple of things from Amazon. You'll need that.
I'm made of money.
And
I have several scales.
Oh, so you're good on that.
Not for what you think. Not for what you think, guys. TikTok.
And then all you need is a graduated cylinder. So you'll need to buy it'll be under the laboratory glass graduated cylinder. You can get one that's 10 ml. Would be perfect for what you're going to do. Just a little one. And a 10 milliliter graduated cylinder.
Is that like a shaker?
Well, no, you need to. It's how you're going to measure your ratio of CBD to MCT oil.
You think I'm made of money over here or something, huh?
Hold on, I'm going to tell you how much they are now.
Graduated cylinder. Mrs. Hippie, are you listening?
So graduated cylinders.
I will be waiting another fucking week.
No, you get them Amazon Prime. They come in no time at all. So you can get a graduated cylinder. You can actually get a set of 4. So you get a 10 ml, a 25 ml, a 50 ml, and a 100 ml for $13 Canadian, which means
$10,
$8, $9, $10 over there. You know what I mean? I personally use glass, but you don't need to. You'll be able to get away with plastic. And even if you go glass, the price only goes up to $19 for the same 4, right?
Right.
And pipettes. So not a serious problem at all. Not a problem at all. But yeah, you'll just need those couple of things for preparation.
Okay.
Not for his bulimia Facebook. I'm trying to load the dishwasher with my smoking pieces, and my kid puts dishes in it like it's a regular household.
Freaking kids. They don't know.
You actually use the dishwasher, Fabeland, to wash your bongs?
Does she know something I don't?
I just don't see where it would work.
Well, I think it'll get them clean for... Yeah,
like,
it'll get it cleaner. You know, like the whole thing overall will be cleaner. Oh, silicone as well. So,
okay. So for those of you out there that want to clean their glass, this is my recommended cleaning product. It's called...
We don't do free shout outs. Get that down. They got to call us about that.
It's called Purple Power 710.
All right.
This cuts through anything. And
Purple
I actually...
Power 710. Shout out.
Yeah, because there is Purple Power, which you'd use for your regular bong. And then 710 is designed for glass concentrates, right? Dab rigs and such.
Yeah.
So, pretty perfect for that. And I usually keep a Tupperware with it and just drop my pieces in, like for my concentrate vaporizer. When the coil is dirty, I just drop it in the Tupperware with that for a couple hours, rinse it with warm water, let it dry, and it's like a brand new coil.
Dr. High,
yeah.
Can you just tell everybody how great the hippie is?
The hippie's great. Why?
He decided out of the kindness of his heart, because he loves his coffee friend Lori, that he's going to give her that air weed pressurizer stupid thing that he hated.
What, your vaporizer? Your dry herb vape?
Dry herb vape by Yocan.
Oh, very nice, Lori. You'll get a chance to try the dry herb vape.
Yes. I mean, it's not like you said, it's like Dr. High said, it's not quality. It's a piece of shit. No.
No, I wouldn't say it's a piece of shit. I just find that Yocan is better suited to concentrates than it is to dry herb.
Maybe
that's my only.
Maybe I won't get punched in the nose when I give her that. That's my goal.
Go. It's just that the way that the chamber is constructed on the Yocan with the coil inside, the metal coil, that coil, in order to do its job, has to glow, has to turn red, right? And you put plant material against a hot metal wire, combustion occurs.
Dr. High,
vaporizing is not to combust. Yeah.
Dr. High, this one that I have that I'm going to be passing on to my good friend Lori, who I love so very much.
Yeah.
This one has a very deep chamber, like where you put the flower in. Do you fill that all the way to the top, or do you just put a little bit at the bottom, because that's all that's going to really burn until it goes down? You know, it doesn't really disappear, so it's not like it's turning to ash and more is going to fill. Maybe when I did it, because I feel like I filled it all the way to the top, thinking that maybe that's why it wasn't working as well. Maybe you just put enough for one hit in there.
You can do that, but what's more important is that you don't pack it. right? It's the
No,
density.
no, I definitely didn't pack it, but I definitely
it's the
like
density
filled
in
it
the
all the way
chamber.
to the top.
Yeah, you can run it with a smaller quantity inside.
Because this one it has a big it's like a one coil, you know, at the very bottom. Hi, Ricky Rich.
How are you, Rick?
sir?
Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. So this one has a very, deep pocket, where it goes very far down. And then it's like a big, I would assume it's just one you can't really even see in there without like putting a flashlight and trying to see.
That deep, eh?
Yeah, I would say it's got to be 3/4 of an inch, maybe even an inch deep.
Okay.
And or more. And it's, fairly like the size of a dime round. Or bigger, a penny maybe even around. So that's where you would put the weed. And then, like for that to go on from there, I filled it thinking that, that this was my first time ever using a dry herb vaporizer. And that's why I had such a poor experience, is because it was that brand. And it was, not that brand's bad, and they have other items that are fantastic. Some of their cart pens are fantastic. I love their pens, their batteries. They have some really good batteries and Yokan dab devices.
Oh, Yokan, yeah.
Yeah, Yokan. But they're I was just not happy with it. And I didn't overall like the experience. And not to mention throwing out brown weed makes me sad.
Well, yeah. Some of what you didn't enjoy about the experience was psychological, though. Not mechanical, right?
I'm crazy as fuck. Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is that you have a hard time to throw away the product once it's been utilized.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't like the fact that you didn't exhale a lot of smoke.
No smoke or barely any smoke. Yeah.
You were.
I get what you're saying now. Like I was explaining it to Lori yesterday after our show, and I said, I'm going to give this to you. And I didn't realize that. I said, so maybe it was working because you had told me during the show that I wouldn't be blowing out as much smoke. And I'm like, this thing is stupid. I'm not even getting hits. It's not working. And my weed is coming out a different color. And it tastes like poopy. I'm like, this is crap, And
no, it actually tastes like weed.
No, it tastes like poop.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It just has a flavor that you're not accustomed to because you're not actually burning the leaf.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. No, it was weird. I was not happy with it. I did not have a good experience. I used it that one day. I put it back in the box. I closed the box. I put it in my drawer. I went looking for something the other day. I went looking for some beard butter because my beard is getting a little out of control.
Okay.
And I looked in that drawer and there it was. And I was like, oh, there's my feet. I wonder if it's in there. And I opened up the box and it was still there and everything's in the box, brand new. And I was like, oh, I'll give this to Lori.
There you go. Yeah, because you'll have a small tool in there for emptying the chamber afterwards.
A little tool and a brush.
Get down and bring out the cannabis from the bottom because the chamber's deep like that, and it's hard to get it out.
There's a brush, and on the other end of the brush is like a circle thing where you can mix it up a little with that wire part, and then there's the wire.
So you can loosen it up inside, right? So can you throw the used bud in food?
You can, but it'll be gross.
Yeah, and from the vaporizer, the whole intention of the vaporizer is to vaporize all the cannabinoids, all the beneficials from the plant.
And now that makes sense to me, but I don't like the fact that I need that visual. I blow a big vape like this because when I quit smoking cigarettes, they were like, the first vape you bought was like these battery ass pens, and they would leak everywhere, and I would be blowing out little tiny clouds, and that I need that.
Yeah, there really would be no benefit, Lori, to that. Now, let's say you were making rosin or something like that, then definitely that cannabis can be reused in edible. But as far as from a vaporizer, no.
So if she had a press, all that weed she could save and then crush it in a press, and it would push out some resin or rosin.
No. What I'm saying is, if you're using a rosin press, the only actual application that I see where you can utilize cannabis twice is when you're pressing rosin. So when you press rosin, what you end up with is
beforehand. I got what you're saying. Yeah, beforehand you press it, and then you can use it as a.
And you can use it to extract for edibles.
Right. Gotcha.
So that's the only way. But once you've used it in the vaporizer, you've actually stripped it of all its beneficial components anyway.
All right.
So the material is just garbage at that point.
Song and commercials. We'll be right back. You're hanging with Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh. Happy 420. This is Calligraphy with THC on WTHC. Hanging with THC.
I want to give a shout out to Calligraphy. My dude Means, little homie Manuel Noriega, Big Just, Rossi, Jack the Apostle, the League.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Big buzz till little crumbs broke up in the bottom. Feel like autumn leaves falling. Only problem needs solving is seeing who I'm calling for some trees to indulge in. Need to holler at Billy. He keep his head in the cloud. Bel Air Kush by the bush. Wow. Screaming loud. Still smoking. Having nice dreams floating through space. So when they ask me how high, my reply, I'm half baked. Sir, smoke a lot. Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy. Prescribe me huckleberry and lemon cherry gelato. G. I take it back to rolling in the Optimo. Blowing smoke out my nose. Dropping ashes on my clothes till I doze off. I'm so fried, no lie.
That's how you rolled your ankle, you dumbass.
Cause when I spit that shit, it's like I lit that shit in the crowd. Pass it around and let you hit that shit.
Weed is all I need. Weed is all I need.
Brought up in LA for my relief. I'm in love with THC.
Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it.
Cause sunshine in my pocket on a Sunday stroll. Homie got the rap, give me the sack. Let the good times roll. Therapy, earth, body, and soul. World, give me beef. Bel Air Kush, give me mental control. L lit back roll. Bypass toll. The studio we roll. Bring relief. Weed and music, all I need to know. Healthier than pill pop. Mother, give me herbs to fill spot. My medication can't do a kill shot. Many strands, lay hands in stressful situations. Out of all the girls in my life, Mary Jane, a reservation. Here at 23, raise your hands in liberation. A celebration, history free from information. Stand up, provide the right education. Show love, holistic cloud, politics throughout the nation. Making a stop debate and Billy Blunt stash, flavor, taste the weed.
Weed is all I need. Smoke that weed. Weed is all I breathe. Broke down leaves. Brought up in the leaf for my relief. I'm in love with THC.
Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Hey guys, it's Da.Hippie here. Go check out Vern at You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy. And if you're over here on TikTok hanging out, pick her up. It's You Have Me Hooked. She is one of the best crocheters I've ever seen. I love her to death. Go pick her up, guys. She's amazing. You Have Me Hooked 23 over on Etsy, or You Have Me Hooked on TikTok. Much love, Vern.
Join me as I return to the stage for the first time in over 4 years, September 16th and 17th, 2023.
Barbara, how are you?
At the OVDJ
Nice to meet you, Barbara. Yes, I'm on TikTok.
And I'm bringing you all
No, I'm not on TikTok, you weirdo.
Get your tickets online.
On YouTube and Facebook.
OVDJ Camp Out on Facebook events. Or go to mucksticky.com.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute.
The beavers.
Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Who ate so much?
Why don't you take a minute?
Sunflower seeds.
When you help care for a loved one, You give them
Oh,
making
Curly
sure they're
Kell
safe.
ate so much.
But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself.
Isn't there a good song, Mother-in-Law?
Information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental
BLT.
well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care
Is
you
that
take,
the new version of THC?
you provide for your loved one.
Thanks,
Now
Dad.
you need THC.
You're there for them. We're here for you.
Oh,
Find free care
Lori.
guides
Thank
to
you,
support
Lori.
You and your loved one at AARP.org.
Lori has us streaming on TikTok.
That's
So she's going to end up with a
AARP.org/caregiving.
banana because I don't know how to
Service
behave
announcement
myself.
Brought to you by
I didn't even know
AARP.
that we could stream on TikTok.
Well, she has two things, so she's probably doing it somehow. I don't know. Two
All right,
devices.
class. Let's hear what
So they're
everyone
probably
did
watching
this
us
weekend.
on
Jill?
her other
Well, I raised my
Oh, I
older
got a
sister.
phone that's
Big
not
oak
working
tree.
right
He was
now.
at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and picked up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Thorge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too. WTHC, we're back and hanging out here live on Live 365 and tune in, and of course here on Facebook and YouTube. I want to thank everybody out there. Thank you so very much. Dr. High, what's up, buddy?
Not too much.
What are you laughing about over there?
I'm laughing at my dog attacking my wife in the background.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, he weighs almost as much as she does, right? So when he decides to pin her down and lick her face, she doesn't have too many options.
She can't do
It always makes me laugh.
She's trapped.
Yep. But, you know, it's funny because I got that dog to be my dog, but it really turned out to be her dog.
I did the same with my wife's dog.
Choose between us, he'd choose my wife.
Absolutely. My wife's dog, thank God it passed on. And that's not right, but she had this little Chihuahua. I got it. It was going to be mine. I'm a 400-pound man, and Paris Hilton was walking around with her little dog, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be a 400-pound guy that walks around with my own little dog. And I got this Chihuahua, and it hated me from the day I got it. And I would try to kiss my wife, and the shit would bite my ankles. I would give my wife a hug. The shit would bite me. It would bark at me every time I moved. If I got up in the middle of the night out of the bed to go to the bathroom, she would bark at me. I'd come back to the bed. She would bite and bark at me. If we were making love, she would be biting my ass while I was making love.
You should have taught her to lick your balls instead.
She fucking hated me. She hated me. I would have to get up and take a break, pick her up and take her and throw her out into the other room. I'd be like, I don't know why you're in here in the first place. This is our private time.
Well, you know, I've had 4 dogs in my life. I had a border collie when I was a kid.
Me too. Oh my goodness.
Then a Bichon Maltese and a Bichon Frise, all small dogs, both small dogs.
Canadian
And
dogs?
then-
Because I don't know what the hell you're saying.
the Bichon Frise is like the little circus dogs. The ones that are really
Oh, I
white.
was just kidding. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I
And the
know.
Bichon Maltese are kind of similar but smaller. But now that I have a big dog, I don't think I'd ever go back to a small dog. I just really enjoy a big dog so much more. I think they have kind of better personalities, like little dogs, like you're talking about Chihuahuas, Yorkshire Terriers. I mean, they're killers, right? I mean, if those were big dogs, they'd be scary because they're so aggressive. You know,
nobody else. It wasn't nobody else. Anybody else, the dog would walk in. People would walk in the house. The dog would roll over onto its back and lay there and be like, "Pet me, pet me, pet me," and piddle everywhere. And I'd be like, "You son of a bitch!" But if I touched the wife, if I went near the wife, I couldn't kiss her. I couldn't touch her. For 15, 18 years, we had that damn dog. Now I don't even go near my wife. I'm like afraid. I got PTSD.
You got PTSD,
from the dog. Yeah, and she's like, "Why don't you ever touch me?" I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe because your dog's gonna get me."
That's right. That's funny.
Mary and Joseph.
That's great.
Anyway, yeah, you got two big beautiful German shepherds. Yeah,
shepherds are nice. I don't know what the next one would be. I've been wanting to get another dog.
Why are we talking about another one when we still have a beautiful Loki over there?
Well, because I think Loki would be really happy with a companion.
Yeah, but we're downsizing Dr. High. We're not getting a bigger pad. We're getting a smaller pad.
Yeah.
Loki's going to be taking over the whole house as it is in the new place.
He already does. This dog can occupy one complete section on the sofa.
Right.
When he's laying down with his legs stretched out behind him, he's like 5 feet long.
If mine laid out, mine would take the whole long section of the big sofa, the big one, not the love seat or the chair, the three seater. Mine is a Mastiff.
Funny, I was talking to a lady this morning about an apartment in Montreal, and I said, "Are pets okay?" She said, "Yes, we accept pets. What kind of pet do you have?" I said, "I have a dog." How big is the dog? I said, "He's a boxer. He's about 75 pounds. She says, we only accept dogs 25 pounds and under. I said, "Well, I have 3 dogs, and they're all 25 pounds, but they all look like one dog."
Yeah, they stand up. They're like go gadget. No, what are the Transformers? They put them all together and they create one dog.
Like, I mean, it's foolishness, right? A dog is a dog, whether it's 25 pounds,
25 pounds or 125 pounds. It's going to piss on the floor either way.
No, my dog never pisses in the house.
No, but that's what they're concerned about. That's what they're worried about. They don't care about how big the dog is. They're concerned.
Yeah, I don't know what they're worried about, but
a bigger dog, I guess, is going to put a gallon of piss on the floor, and a smaller dog is only going to put a piddle on the floor.
Yeah,
they can hide that better for the next guy.
That's right. My daughter put me into a group on Facebook that's specifically pet-friendly residences in the Montreal area. So we'll find something. I gotta admit, though, it's getting more stressful.
What about the one that we were already discussing? Is that still on the table, or is that not anymore?
I have to call that lady when we're done today, and then I have to sort out all the documentation she requires and get that over to her and go from there. I'm actually probably gonna apply to 5 or 6 different places,
and then swaggle with them like you did with the other dude.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily going to haggle, but they're all in a similar price range, but in different areas. So we do have a preferred area, but if I go to my preferred area, I'm going to have a very small apartment. If I decide that or not, it's more for my wife because we know where she's going to work already. You know what I mean? So we'd like to be located close to where she works. The closer, the better, because that frees up the car, right, for me to do what I have to do.
Right.
But the further away we go, the better accommodation we get. Like for the 20-minute drive from what we're looking at to another place that we're looking at is a difference in square footage of double for the same money. You know what I mean? So I don't know about how important the square footage is, but we're going to have, we've been living in homes that are 2,500 square feet for the last 15 years or whatever. So we have possessions to fill a home of that size. And now I'm going to be going into something half of that at best case scenario, and perhaps 25% of that size at the worst case scenario. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's going to be tough. You're going to have storage units. You're going to be renting storage units to have all your shit in.
I wouldn't pay to store anything. I'd rather just sit and be done with it. You know what I mean?
That's why I was asking you yesterday if mommy and daddy would let you keep the stuff here at the house until you decide what you're going to do with it.
my daughter has an extra room there that's probably not furnished because she doesn't have the stuff for it. So we could always, furnish a room in her house. My son's in a place that's not really well furnished. We could put some there. You know what I mean? But chances are that I won't be in another 2,500 square foot place again moving forward. So thinning out is probably a good idea. You can't buy a house in Canada these days. So
you can't buy a house here, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really nuts here. Since 2015 till now, home prices have doubled. And the average price of a house in Canada is over $700,000. The average home price is over $700,000.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? And then with interest rates, there's so many problems for people that I'm seeing now. I mean, I was watching the news this morning. They had a lady on the news who 18 months ago, her mortgage was $2,800 a month. But because of what's happened with the interest rates going up with the Bank of Canada and the same like you have in the States, what do you call it? The Fed. The interest rates have been rising. Her mortgage is now $6,200 a month, from $2,800 to $6,200. She's been priced out of the home. She can no longer maintain it. And the problem is that the value of that property has dropped 10% during that time. So now they're forced to sell, and she'll lose whatever equity she had in that property. So the whole experience has been for nothing. And they're actually going to be worse off by the time it's finished than they were when they started. And that's the way it's going right now. It's very scary.
I got a story.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to weed.
Yeah, we need to get to weed.
Yeah.
And we got to do a commercial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this story, and then we'll do a commercial, and then we'll answer the story. We'll talk about the story, all right?
Yeah.
Let me get the commercial set up first so that we're ready to do that. All right, we're good. Oh, no, we're not good. Yeah, now we're good. All right, so here's the story. It's titled, Senior Citizens Are the Fastest Growing Cannabis Clientele. Seniors and not high school kids are the fastest growing population of cannabis users, a trend that illustrates what a long, strange trip the legalization movement has been. The share of over 65 Americans who have used marijuana nearly tripled in the last decade, from 11% in 2009 to 32% in 2019, according to respected federal survey on drug use. More than half of the 60 to 64-year-old demographic reported cannabis use, another sharp increase. Cannabis consumption among older adults has reached 35% in 2021, but the pandemic affected the survey methodology, researchers said, possibly skewing the results. The graying of cannabis culture signals broadening social acceptance of marijuana, which is now available for recreation in 23 of the 50 states. It is also generational story about the aging baby boomers, a generation that grew up in an era of psychotropic experimentation. Cannabis use for many older Americans is less about getting high and more about getting sleep and pain relief and calm. Oh my goodness, this story's huge. There are many things that I would not do anymore if I had cannabis, said Daniel Youth, 61, who lived and works in Wisconsin farm. I wouldn't do it because it hurts too much. Cannabis users find that rolling that occasional joint can be blunt pain from arthritis, old broken bones, aching backs and necks. That guy smokes a little bit recreational, maybe once a month, but way more for pain control. Older Americans remain far less likely than younger adults to use cannabis regularly. Roughly 5% of over 65 Americans and 10% of over the age of 60 to 64 reported using marijuana in the past month as of 2021 compared to 24% of adults 25 and under. That's it. I'm not going any further. It's just him talking about it.
Right.
So anyway.
No, but I mean, and like we've said from the beginning when we started doing this show, and from the beginning of the very first time we talked, this is the segment of the population that stands to benefit the most from the inclusion of cannabis.
Absolutely.
Is the older group of people. And the additional benefit to that is I was born in 67. The people we're talking about would have been born, let's say, 10 years earlier than I, in the 50s. So by the time they got to the late 60s, cannabis was being used a lot during that time, right? It was a different time. So they know enough about cannabis to know that it's not necessarily harmful. But what they don't know enough about cannabis is its true potential as medicine. And that's why we're important, because we can bring that enlightenment, and we can also teach them how to use it properly, how to determine how it works well for them. But that's really the group of the population that stands to benefit the most. Yeah. If we would just simply get cannabis into seniors' homes and long-term care settings, then I think the quality of life would go up tremendously for these people.
I agree. What I was going to say is that I probably said this before, and I'll say it again. When I was working at that vape shop, a lot of the older people were coming in and they were prescribed, or told that they had their medical card and they didn't really know what they were doing. And they were selling stuff, bigger priced items to them. And I kept saying to them, they need to put a big slogan out there in the front that they're the people who are going to teach these people, and they wouldn't listen to me. So really and truthfully, now I'm doing it myself. The hell with them. Yep. And we're going to be able to do it for them, but we need to get those people in here. That's the thing. And we're doing it. It's been fantastic. The numbers have been great. Every day I watch, they're bigger and bigger every week. So, I mean, it's been great. I absolutely love doing this with you.
Well, it's just awareness, right? And if people don't know we're here, then they don't know that they can come here to find out or to learn or to ask questions or whatever it may be, right?
Right.
So, yeah, that takes time. Awareness takes time. And we'll get there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
The whole point of that was, that now, if you don't know, don't be afraid to come here and ask us, and if you have somebody out there who is older and is afraid, have them come and watch and hang out and talk and tell them, we're going to be here every day from 12 to 2. And we're going to help anybody who needs help with anything from making your own to enjoying it. Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's really the demographic I wanted to focus on. That's why my books are simple and easy to understand and don't contain opinions. They just simply contain studies and the results of those studies that have been put into a way that it can be understood by anybody. You know what I mean? And that's what they need to know. First, they need to know that there is scientific evidence out there showing potential. Second thing they need to know is that they can benefit from the inclusion. But really what it's all about is giving people the knowledge and the confidence to speak to their healthcare provider and pursue a prescription so that they can find out. Yeah.
Well, you're 100% right. First, second, but I want to say the first thing they need to know is that it's okay. It's all right. It's not bad. It's not illegal. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It used to be pounded into our heads every day that this was bad and this is bad, and now they're biting themselves in the ass or kicking themselves in the ass because now we've been telling them for how many years, it's not bad, it's good. It helps. It helps me every day, and so, that's, I guess,
cannabis being normalized and available to everybody is only bad for pharmaceutical industry for the alcohol industry, for the tobacco industry.
Tobacco, yeah.
That-
Ones that
that's
are all
who-
bad for you.
Yep, that's the segment of the population that gets hurt by cannabis legalization.
Right,
But
and that's why we're having all the issues we're having, because they're fighting it. They're the ones with the money. They're the ones fighting.
Yep.
They're like,
They're the
nope,
ones who can afford to buy the political power.
nope. We'll pay you to say no, because we want to be able to keep selling our cigarettes that are bad for you. We want to keep selling our alcohol, which is bad for you. We want to keep trying to kill you instead of help you.
I think, now, I don't want to be quoted on this, but I think I was looking at some of the information that came out in Canada for liquor sales and alcohol sales after legalization of cannabis. And if I recall correctly, they said that the sale of alcohol had dropped by 6%, which isn't a big number.
I was going to say that's very small, you would think, but maybe Canadians aren't much of a drinker.
No, but what I'm saying is if you take that 6% market segment loss and then attach a dollar figure to it, it's probably substantial.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? It's probably in the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Hi, Jamie.
So this is where the rub comes, right? Because it eats in. There was an article in one of my wife's nursing magazines years ago that said that medical cannabis could replace 63 different prescription medications could be eliminated from the marketplace by cannabis. That is a scary thing to a pharmaceutical manufacturer.
Crazy that they are just like, no, we can't let you have it because we need you to buy these pills and we need you to pay for these pills.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, we can talk about
Monsanto.
Days.
Monsanto can't get in on the deal
Hopefully,
because
we're gonna have
patent a cannabis plant.
Yeah. I got to run a commercial. Tell Timmy all about Tim the Fun Guy's there out in the crowd. Everybody, the Fun Guy. Make sure you're picking him up because he does.
Hey, Jamie, how are you today? Thanks for joining us. Tim, thanks for joining us.
We're going to have a guest on. Tell him about our guest while I run these commercials. Here we go.
Right now,
the lady
our
with the
country feels
cancer
divided.
that you have
There's
coming
a
on.
place where
Yeah,
people
but commercials are for a reason. We can talk about those after.
Nervous to talk to someone.
Thanks to cannabis, I'm off all opiates. That's phenomenal.
Love has
Awesome,
no
Jamie.
labels,
Me
and
too.
One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is.
You guys have a YouTube, please go over and subscribe to us. We need all the subscribers we can. We're almost at 1 million. I think we're at 86. 86.
You can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Snarly move, Dad.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink.
Thank
Even
you,
get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine full and get an extra filter free. Change your water.
Turquoise,
Change
Jamie.
your life.
Waving.
Own your
What the hell is
water.org.
the person turquoise waving?
Hey, this is the one and only Red Eyes, and you listen to the Hippie on WTHC Radio.
Hey, this is
Now
Mrs.
subscribe.
You have me hooked 23 on Etsy, and you
Thank
have me
you,
hooked
thank you,
over
thank
at
you, everybody
TikTok.
subscribing.
She's
I
amazing.
appreciate
She
it.
can make
We
anything.
love you.
She make me a
We're on our way to 1 million.
As a worry stone?
Oh my God, hippie, no. But she can crochet anything from blankets to bags, purses, and hats.
And even a pussy?
Cat! A pussy cat. Grab up Vern at You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and You Have Me Hooked on TikTok.
Oh yeah, baby, it's Mark Sticky, and you need to get trippy with the Fun Guy Tim's Trippin' Radio Show, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern every night, right here on WTHC Radio. Whoa, 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 whoa.
WTHC, we're back. It's the Hippie and DoktorHigh. We are hanging out. What's going on? We were talking about what were we talking about?
We're talking about seniors and cannabis.
Right.
But I'd like to get to Jamie here, who's talking about cannabis to get away from the opiates. VA prescribed me opiates for pain, but at some point they stopped working for it. And did you begin, Jamie, using cannabis while you were still utilizing your prescriptions for opiates? And
were you a cannabis user prior to your injury or whatever happened?
Yeah, and I'm curious whether when you started using cannabis, if that did the job of the opiates, so it allowed you to transition away from them, or if you've always been a cannabis user. A couple of things would be interesting to know there, for sure. I got to figure out these things here. Face turquoise, covering eyes. Face purple wide eyes. Face pink tears. Face purple sweating. Face blue
What you need to worry about is none of that. That's just
emojis
people
are
sending us emojis.
But why don't they come up as emojis? Why do they come up as this text?
I don't know.
It's kind of funny in a weird way.
It's weird.
Yay! I got mail. I got mail. I got mail. That's what I ever think of when I hear yay like that. I think of that guy from Crank Yankers.
Yay! I got
yeah. You did that well.
Thanks.
You stopped the opiates and then began using cannabis. And is cannabis for you as effective as the opiates were? Has it become a way to actually combat the pain and has effectively improved your quality of life?
I'm going to go ahead and answer for her. Yes. But she has to smoke a lot.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Right. Okay. I'm just reading Jeff here. His father's having trouble with his knees and having shots in them. What would you recommend if CBD might help? Yeah, potentially, especially if it's arthritis. So if it's an arthritic condition in the joints, then CBD could be beneficial. But I would look for a balm or a lotion or a cream that is,
or take your own with the CBD stuff we're about to buy.
Yeah, which you can do also. You'd be able to use that CBD isolate to make your own preparation. Heavy CBD, light THC, but you do want to
teach you
a little bit of THC. But the beautiful thing for your dad is by using this as a transdermal preparation, which is something you could apply directly to the problem area. THC and CBD are quite incredible because they have the ability to actually go through your skin and into that joint. And CBD is really excellent if the source of the pain is inflammation. So CBD will work very well at reducing inflammation, and a little bit of THC will help with the pain effect also. But a lot of times you'll find if you reduce the inflammation, the pain goes at the same time, right? Because it's an inflammatory pain.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. That's what I'm going to use some of mine for too, Dr. High, when I get my powder. I should have bought 2, damn it, because I want to make some balm for my gout. When I start getting gout flare-ups, I want to have something that I could rub on my foot there.
Well,
or my ankle,
realistically,
toe.
So edibles are best. Yeah, that makes sense because edibles, number one, are a body experience more so than a mind experience, right? It's a different type of high than when you smoke or vape. Although there is the psychological component, edibles are more physical, just simply because of the method of delivery and the way that your body uptakes the cannabinoids. So that would really make sense, especially for like neuropathic pain and pain of that way. Now, you're also saying that RSO seems to work great for friends with arthritis. Now, are they using that RSO orally, or are they using it as a topical? Because as a topical, it'd be a hell of a mess. So it must be oral, I would think. You know? But, yeah, I mean, once again, Jeff, it's always a pleasure. The questions are phenomenal. Yeah, sublingual is your fastest uptake right under the tongue. Those membranes under the tongue are pretty magical for being able to take that medicine and get it into your system, right? Really good.
Who, me, Tim?
Yeah.
We can talk, Tim. Yeah, we can talk. I'll make some balm for you. You make some fruit for me. I love fruit. Anyway, what's your plan, Dr. High? I mean, now that we're at this new time, I have all day. I'm on till 8 o'clock tonight. So, I mean, you can stick around. We can do our commercials.
Today's been a day where I haven't been able to really do anything just because of the nature of the morning. And actually this morning, oh my God, it was like luxurious. I think I woke up this morning at 5:45. Wow. I do not remember the last time I woke up at 5:45.
You weren't up at 3 a.m.?
No, not today. Not today. Yeah. Levo, how do you like the Levo machine? It's great. It's small batch, but it's a fantastic device, eh? Levo? It's a really good machine for extracting and infusing oils.
I've heard of it, I think, but I've never seen it. I don't know.
Not cheap, but it's very, very good.
Well, I'm so glad that Jamie, it helped me as well. Is crack an opiate?
No.
What would you call it? What would you classify that?
Crack would be more like a stimulant.
All right. It helped me get off stimulants for a very long time that I was on stimulants, and I chose the path of marijuana.
Yeah, like opiates, you're talking about Percocet, Dilaudid, OxyContin, morphine, heroin.
Yeah, I know. Downer, the opiate. But then you get into the bad stuff too. Then you get into,
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And I'll tell you what, if any of you out there is wondering why you have such an opiate epidemic in North America, just pop on over to Netflix and watch the documentary called Painkiller, and you'll get it right away. This company, this Purdue Pharma, they're like the devil. They did this society with intent, all to make money. And it's absolutely disgusting. And the guy who runs Purdue Pharma and his board of directors, they should all be in prison. They should all be addicted to opiates themselves so they can experience it instead of lying to people and telling them that this was non-addictive, that this was good medicine. Instead of telling the doctors.
You want to go there? You want to go there, Dr. High? Me and you will go there, kick their asses?
Oh, I tell you, man, these guys, to me, they're no better than pedophiles. They're really no better than pedophiles.
Worse. There's no worse than a pedophile, but
but these guys at Purdue, they're the bottom of the barrel. They're the bottom of the barrel. They're the scum at the bottom.
And I hate their chicken too.
You know what they did was this is how their salespeople earned. This is how the salespeople earned their commissions. It was they got the bigger the dose of OxyContin that the doctors were prescribing. So let's say you get an Oxy, 10 milligram, 20 milligram, 40 milligram, 80 milligram Oxys. The commission of the salespeople that were dealing with the doctors was based on the milligram that those doctors were prescribing. So all the salespeople's interest was in getting those doctors to increase the dose, increase the dose, increase the dose. They have ruined a whole segment of the population for money. And these people are garbage. And you know, when they had them by the balls, when they really had them by the balls, the head of Purdue Pharma was able to call one of his political buddies and have that whole thing wiped out. They paid a fine. They didn't have to admit to wrongdoing. And they got away with it. Nobody went to jail. Nothing. And these people should be fucking flayed. They are the absolute trash of society because they have destroyed so many people. You know, really, like that sort of thing just is disgusting. And we have such a big problem here in Canada too. Like it's really gotten out of control here. Like we have so many people overdosing every single day in Vancouver, in Edmonton, in Toronto. You know, fentanyl. And the reason they're on fentanyl is because they all started off on Dilaudid. You know, they all started off with Percocet. And they you know, so the doctors give them that, they take them off, blah, 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 and there we go. So I don't know, but that's the rant that I shouldn't be on, but
rant away, I don't care. It's horrible. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, cannabis is illegal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cannabis is the devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
Oh.
Meanwhile,
you know? Holy shit.
It all comes out. It all comes out little by little, you know?
Yep. Well, we were actually talking about Monsanto a little earlier, Tim, because that's what I was saying. That'll be another impediment to cannabis because Monsanto won't be able to control the seed stock like they do with the corn and all this kind of stuff. Genetically modified for what? You know what I mean? What's the genetic modification? It's modified so the farmers can't generate their own seed and seed their own fields. They have to come back every year to Monsanto or to DeKalb or whoever it is. So the VA was prescribing so many vets on Orco and Vicodin that when they stopped prescribing, some vets had to look elsewhere. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And that's why so many of them get into heroin, because heroin is cheaper than Oxy on the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how the transition occurs, is because they continue trying to get the pharmaceutical meds, but it doesn't take long.
Living that fight right now.
Yeah,
My nephew's living proof of that fight right now. He's battling every day, trying to stay off that shit.
Yeah, so they end up having to transition to heroin.
To a little fender bender, and they hooked him on the Percocets, and then it went to the Oxys, and then of course he, you know, once he got hooked, he was coming up with any excuse you can to get more and how you can get it, you know.
Do you know how long it takes to get addicted to those drugs? 5 to 6 days. 5 to 6 days. If you take a 20 milligram dose of OxyContin for 5 to 6 days, by day 7, 20 milligrams doesn't affect you anymore. You have to increase the dose to get the same effect, the same pain relief, the same whatever. You know what I mean? So,
well, they had me on them. They had me on 30 milligrams was the highest I ever got to. I never took more than one at a time because I'm not a big person into those pills. You know, I don't like them. And my cousin had passed away from an accidental overdose, or, you know, I hope it was accidental. That's what they told me. But, you know, I don't know. But, you know, so I was just never a fan of them. But they made me take them. You know, they were like, I was telling them no. And they were like, Guy, your leg is broken in half. It's hanging off the table here. You need to have pain medication. Yeah. I was on them for quite some time after the hospital. And then,
you got the rods, you got all that kind of stuff going on too. So,
yeah. And I was on them for quite some time, but I wanted off of them so badly that as soon as I was able to be off of them, I gave them up, you know, and I had them there for a long time here. And little by little, you know, if there was a day where I was having a bad gout attack and I couldn't walk, I would take one, you know, and then they finally just went away and there's no more. And I don't care. I don't want them anymore, you know.
You know, I get it, right? Because I had surgery one time, and for 3 or 4 days after that surgery, they were injecting me with Demerol and Dilaudid, right? Or I don't know, maybe it was morphine and Demerol, whatever it was. But that was the best sensation in the world. That nurse, I'd be in so much pain. They would only give it to me every 4 hours. But when that 4 hour came around and she come and put that needle in my ass, that sensation of warmth and relief of being not feeling the pain and everything came over you.
Oh my God. I totally understand why people are on it. Yes.
100%.
My God, I had to take it orally, and that half hour later or whatever it was, wow, I could totally see getting hooked on them. But I had it already so set in my head that I didn't want to get hooked on them. That because I know what was going on in the world. That as soon as they mentioned the word Oxycontin to me, I was like, get that shit out of here. I want Percocet or nothing. And then
when I first got locked up in the States, I started in New Hampshire.
I didn't know, folks. I didn't know.
I started off in New Hampshire, and
not on his resume.
I was close to the border with Massachusetts, and a lot of guys. This was really at the peak of Oxy, right back in the early 2000s, and I saw so many guys come into the system and withdraw once they got there. It was horrible to see what these poor guys went through, the suffering to get away from that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no wonder these guys will do anything to get it. You know what I mean? That's the societal harm, because now they'll break in to your house. They'll break into your car. They'll steal.
Whatever they can do to get what they need, because you get so sick
that you'll do anything to escape that feeling. Anything. And who can blame somebody for that, right? You can't. And
I can blame somebody. Purdue,
yeah,
your chicken and your pills.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like Jamie's saying, right? They were all vets. So this is another thing, right? Your veterans. These people have agreed to sacrifice themselves for the benefit of the country, right? They have entered into a contract to serve the United States, Canada, whatever country it may be, for the benefit of its citizens. And that seems to be a segment of society that is very poorly treated when they finish their service. And
they would be the number one people in the world. They should be the number one.
You would think so, right? That would be the logical thing, because
disgusting.
The heroics, just in the fact that you're willing to sign up and risk your life, whether you actually end up on the front lines or in a situation that does truly
neither here nor there
put you in risk. You have said that, you know what, if we have to go, I'm willing. I'm willing. I'm going to stand up for my country. I'm going to stand up for my fellow soldier. I'm going to stand up for our beliefs. And then you come back and you suffer the consequences of your service, PTSD, injuries, anxiety, depression, all those things that come along with it. And who's there to help you? What are they there to do for you? Addict you to another drug.
Pardon me.
Right? And even right now, the VA refuses to give their doctors the authority to prescribe medical marijuana. They are dead set against it. Even when Biden has said this is important, the VA is saying, nope, we're not going to tell our doctors to prescribe cannabis to our veterans.
Or you go hippie. Yes, I go hippie.
So,
my goodness, he's drunk already this morning.
The problem is that it's not logical. You have to question the motivations behind these individuals who are making the decisions.
Did you see what Timmy wrote there?
Logic. What about being a 12-year infantry vet?
Yeah, and he can't even get an appointment to see a therapist, so he self-medicates.
Disgusting.
Yep.
Not self-medicating, but the fact that you don't have access.
Yeah, absolutely. It's disgusting that you can't even get an appointment for a therapist.
You know, Like,
That's ridiculous.
It should be there, especially for that. They should have a whole department.
You know what, Timmy? I'm going to give you my appointment next month. You can talk to my therapist. I don't need it. I'm crazy. It's official. You can talk to that crazy ass bitch.
Yeah, they do. Like Canada's really good with the veterans. Here, if they believe that cannabis could be beneficial in their recovery or in dealing with the symptoms of PTSD or the stress that or whatever's come along with the service, Canada gives the cannabis to our veterans. They have actually centers for specifically cannabis and veterans that they can go to and utilize the services. Canada will pay for you. Yeah, they'll pay for your vaporizers because they don't support smoking joints or pipes or bongs. They want the veterans to consume cannabis via dry herb vapes. They will pay the cost of the device, and they don't play around. They're not buying them. They're not buying them a yoke.
Right, they're buying the $700
air
one.
risers and volcanoes.
I want to comment on Tim over there. Tim, I agree, and nobody knows your pain but you. You know what I mean? So I have some of that issue as well, and I hope she's not here. I love you, Mrs. Hippie. But Mrs. Hippie, you know, like we argue about my amount of money that I spend on my medicine. And I'm like, you don't know how much pain I'm in. I can't explain it to you. You can never know what's going on in my head or what's going on in my body. But I need this much to make it through the day and not hurt or kill people.
But see, the point of contention between you and Mississippi is not the fact that you're using cannabis to combat your issues. It's the cost of the cannabis that you need to combat.
My state is fucking me.
Exactly. It's the system that's getting you, because it's not the fact that your wife doesn't have an issue with using cannabis as medicine. She's
Not at
probably
all.
very happy that that's the route that you're going, as opposed to other potential avenues. But
likes me
it's
when I'm high.
a very expensive thing to do. And because it's medical in your case, it should be covered by your insurance. It should be supplemented by the government. It should be somehow affordable and accessible. But America's like that anyway when it comes to drugs and medications, right? They give it to you guys hard. And we know that for a fact in Canada, because Canada has put laws in place that restrict what pharmaceutical companies can sell their drugs for.
Like, don't do it the U.S. way law number 2. Don't do it the U.S. way law number 3.
Let's put it this way. What costs you $500 as a prescription in the United States, here will be $50. So they can only charge 10% of what they charge U.S. citizens. They can only charge Canadian citizens 10% of that at the pharmacies. So they're restricted in what they charge here. But no, it doesn't matter. Well, no, I mean, some prescriptions can be more, right? But in comparison to the United States, medicine here, or drugs, pharmaceuticals, are 90% cheaper across the board in this country. 90%. And the pharmaceutical companies don't like that, because there was a program that was going on between Plattsburgh, New York, and Quebec, where they were taking busloads of seniors from seniors' homes there, bringing them across, having a doctor set up in Canada that would review their medical situation and write them a prescription in Canada so they could fill it at a Canadian pharmacy and then go back to the United States. Jeez. And this was going on for a short period of time. And the next thing you know, the pharmaceutical companies got wind of it, and they contacted the pharmacy chain in Canada that was providing this service. And they told them, if you want to continue to operate in that fashion, we will no longer supply you with the medication. Period. We'll cut you off. Imagine that. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Okay, so Jamie's saying they have weed for warriors. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have programs like that, thank God, throughout the country. There's some great Facebook groups like Boots to Bushes, and some of the Facebook groups that I post in are specifically for veterans trying to get into cannabis as their form of medication. So there's some really good programs out there, but this is an area of the population that can be really benefited by it. And a matter of fact, here in Canada, if you're a member of the armed forces, you can use cannabis now when you're active duty. It depends on your position, but let's say you're an infantry soldier, you can consume cannabis up to 4 hours prior to you going on duty. If it depends on your position. If you're a pilot, let's say you're a pilot in the Air Force, now you have to be 30 days from the time of your last consumption until your flight time. So for pilots, it really hasn't opened up, right? Because a lot of them don't have that big enough window to be able to consume.
But you know, unfortunately, it should have been always. But as it becomes more and more legal, or once it becomes federally legal, you will have the choice. If you want to be in law enforcement, then you're going to choose a job where you're not going to smoke marijuana. If
that's another reason.
You're going to be a pilot, you're going to choose a job that's, you know, and then there's going to be millions of jobs out there that you can function and do. No?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And that's another, what was I going to say? I don't remember now.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Shit happens. Shit happens. Doesn't matter. That you want to distillate is the only thing I find that helps with back pain. Yeah, I mean, distillate is a very intense preparation. The only reason that I might say that RSO would be preferable to distillate is because distillate by design is stripped of most of the beneficial cannabinoids and is designed to highlight THC. Now, where THC is beneficial, it is more beneficial in combination with a full spectrum of cannabinoids extracted from the plant. So RSO might be a better way for you to go than just straight distillate, because with RSO you have the entire profile there. You know, yeah. Go ahead, Hippie.
But is RSO something that she can eat?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what RSO is designed to do.
Right.
I mean, no, sorry.
Gross.
RSO is
Tastes
designed
like
to be used
shit, I'm
properly.
pretty sure. Right. Well, she's
distillate doesn't taste any better. It might not taste as bad as RSO, but
distillate goes on a gummy bear or however she does it, and then a blob. Remember, she did a blob and then she ate it. So
yeah,
that's how she loved it. So I was just making sure that she could still do that with a.
It's bad to be a narcissist. My wife tells me I'm a narcissist sometimes.
Barbara. Oh, I am too. Full-fledged narcissist.
No, I mean this is a place, Tim, where you can vent like that, because you know, like, cannabis has benefits in many ways for many people to deal with many different things. That's really the miracle of this plant, is its versatility, is the potential to deal with so many different
3
things.
languages.
Yeah, like
sublingual.
It's like you don't need one pill for this, one pill for that, one pill to combat the side effects of this. You know what I mean? That's
that. But what pills are good pills, Dr. High? Are there good pills? I mean, like the cholesterol pills? I mean, what can you lower cholesterol with weed?
I don't know.
Like, what about my gout pills? You know, I mean, should I just not take them anymore because I smoke weed? Because that didn't work.
What I would do in that situation is I would attempt to use a topical to address the issue, to see if
okay,
you might be able to transition.
I like what you're saying there. I get that. Okay, but all right, I got more. That baby aspirin they're saying I need to take every day.
Well, that's because it's a blood thinner, and yeah, but so what I'm going to say about pharmaceuticals,
you know, like I also take a couple of psychotropics, I guess we'll call them, you know, the ones that make me not kill people.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that we're trying to get off of, right? When we're doing this weed, I mean, plants before pills, right? I mean, those are the ones that are, because as of right now, they're not working, the pills or the plants.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Mississippi still wants to kill me at all times. So I got to figure something out. I'm kind of like Tim, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't.
Yeah. No, it's, if you ask me if there's any good medicines, I would say good medicines are medicines that can do things that nothing else can.
Like a decongestion? Do we no longer take decongestants? Like that dude, that green blobby dude that comes on, Mucinex or whatever it is.
The next guy.
Yeah,
No,
do I stay away from him and say, no, I'll just smoke weed and I'll get better?
I don't think that we can necessarily deal with everything.
Right. Well, no, I'm not. I'm only
sure.
asking. I'm asking as a question for everybody. There's not,
and I'm not sure that it's actually even a cure for anything. But what I think it does do is interact with the endocannabinoid system, your ECS, to promote balance within the body. So that's a great start.
Balance that the body
is, ECS is a great start.
A balance of what the body is missing, right? Like this is already a missing thing that we should already have in our bodies, or our body produces, right?
It stimulates a reaction, right? The cannabinoids, THC and CBD, stimulate a reaction with inside your endocannabinoid system. So what it does is it's like jump starting a battery, right?
All right. So when we don't have THC, our endocannabinoid system is just sitting there dead.
No, because your body produces its own cannabinoids, right? There are natural cannabinoids. So your body does your body does produce some naturally. But when you introduce THC and CBD, you are boosting that.
You're like endorphins? Is it like endorphins, kind of?
Kind of. What they say it does, right? Because you have synapses, right? You have your I don't know what the right word is, but basically, if you think about wires, right? Your body is full of all these like little wires, and the wires aren't completely joined. They come to points where you have a gap in between the two, and that's where the interactions take place, or one where your body signaled to release a chemical from one side that's absorbed by the other side and activates that. And THC and CBD are able to make those systems fire on a more consistent and regular basis. And those systems not only interact with your central nervous system, but there's also the secondary component that works with your skin and tissue, muscle tissue, and the exterior stuff, right? So you have your interior and you have the exterior. So anything that functions off the central nervous system would be the interior, and then your exterior is like skin and joint, tissue and all this kind of stuff. So you can artificially make those things work better and more frequently. So once you have the body starting in balance, like we got to remember, and this is kind of the analogy I use, when you cut yourself, you heal naturally. You don't do anything. You just wait, and the healing occurs. That's because your body understands that there is a wound in a particular location, and it knows how to go to that area and repair itself, to heal itself. And this is part of your endocannabinoid system that sends the correct signaling to create that reaction. So basically, by using THC and CBD, you're able to keep that endocannabinoid system firing on the regular. Constantly in motion, constantly working to maintain stasis and balance. There's a couple of things, like there's alkalinity and acidity. If your body is too acidic, you will be sick more often. If your body is too alkaline, you will be sick more often. It has to be balanced. That's why some of the foods that we eat and some of the things that we ingest, we have to take into consideration alkalinity and acidity. So there are things that we can do naturally to improve the odds. But where cannabis comes in really helpful when it comes to medication is a lot of medications have side effects, right? Like I take a blood pressure medication that I was reading about the other day. It can cause blurry vision. Like, why the hell? I'm taking a drug for one thing, but it's going to make my vision blurred.
Right. That's what I was asking before with all these other medicines. Like you were saying, I gotta run a commercial, Dr. High, because I have to run it before the hours before the half hour is over.
No, we'll do another 15.
Are you gonna stick around? Yeah, I was just gonna ask
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Are you gonna stick around? All right, then we'll be right back. We're hanging with Hippie.
Is number one. That's got to be Mississippi.
Tie-dye is
Mississippi,
number
why don't we
one.
take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
I don't know.
Dolphin? What's in
Tie-dye tea was originally my first puppet.
Oh,
that's
funny. I hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
And then now he's tie-dye tea and I'm the hippie, but then I became the hippie and he's the hippie. So there's no
That
more
sounds like a
tie-dye
great
tea.
road trip. That's Bella's
I just
Badass
burnt the shit
Crystals
out of
on
my
TikTok and
coil,
Facebook,
Dr.
but you can
High,
also
because I
find them
wasn't
on
paying
Top of the Mountain in
attention.
Dauphin,
And
PA. They are badass.
Say bye-bye to bottled water.
That's the cotton coil.
Certified
Yeah,
medical-grade water
yeah,
ionizers that make 7 types
Oh,
of water
shit.
healthy alkaline.
What?
There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each
I'm
machine
late.
lasts 25 to
I
30
know.
years.
That's why I said,
Simply
what do you want
attach
to do?
your
If you want to
faucet
end,
or
we can
install
end.
under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your
Yeah,
shower.
we'll get back in after the commercial. We'll see how it goes.
Get a free
Yeah, I'm
ebook.
not playing a
Plus,
song. We just
pay
got
for
to
any
do the 2 minute
bill and get
commercial.
an extra filter free. Change your water and change your
But
life.
now I am going to play a song. because
Water.org.
We're going back.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now.
And the
You're
whole,
gonna go out there.
the whole I got to
Be an
pee
all-star
thing's
caregiver.
coming up soon.
It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy.
I'm sorry, what?
Because
We're gonna have to do
caregivers do.
an evening
Give up.
show and record it before
Never give up.
Okay.
podcast our normal
It's your
time.
time
Okay.
to show the world, your
That way
family,
we can have. I'm
yourself.
just texting right now or messaging with Kim Axtell, who runs the Legit Bean Society.
Caregiver this world has ever seen.
We talked about having her on, but she's a teacher.
Caregiving is tougher.
I'm available at any time. I mean, the only time I can't do it is from like 11 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning.
Yeah, well, I can't do that anyway.
Because I got another guy that does a show. Really good guy. His name's the Fun Guy.
But not every child gets to be carefree.
But
One
you
in
did.
three kids
It's
in the
all
school
right, Nick.
are
It's
hungry.
all correct.
6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have
Really
the
tripper.
energy because she's hungry.
Yeah, it's a great song. I love it.
Lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding
Some
America
time to get high. I haven't got high yet today.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by
All right, we're
Feeding
back.
America and the Ad Council.
WTHC, good afternoon, everybody. It's 2:27 over here on the East Coast. Friday, we made it, Dr. High. Another whole week of great shows. I want to thank everybody out there on Live 365 and TuneIn, and of course, everybody hanging out over here on Facebook and YouTube. You guys are amazing. We got to work on our questions. We want some more questions from you folks, but we're here. We're having fun.
We'll get
All
there.
right. So we were talking about. Oh, do you have to wrap it up? You said, right? Because we got.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to make a phone call at 2:00 and I forgot, but that's
Oh
okay.
shit! You're in trouble.
Yeah. I just don't want these people to think if I'm late calling, I might be late with the rent too.
Although you're a star on the television and your
That's
show
right.
ran over. I also have to get ready because my doctor's appointment is a phone call, thank God. And I have that coming at 3:20, and I have to try to talk my friend Dr. Harris into coming on our show and hanging out with us for a little while.
That would be phenomenal.
I am going to do my very best. I can't guarantee anything.
And then we're going to end up in a situation with doctor. Yes, doctor.
Doctor. I'll change my name to Dr. Hippie that day.
There you go.
Dr. Hippie, Dr. High, and Dr. Harris. All H's. All
Yeah.
H's.
Works,
High,
eh?
the three H's. Hippie, High, and Harris.
So I just want to thank everybody for coming in today. We had some different faces today, which was very, very cool. Always like to see new faces and the old faces. We just couldn't be doing this without you. You're the backbone of what we're doing, and we appreciate the support and the time that you give us. You know, it's very flattering that you spend this time with us. So I really appreciate that. I know Hippie does too.
Yeah, what he said, 100%, and then some. Man, yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are amazing. Please keep subscribing and share. I know you can only subscribe once, but please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube. And if you've got friends and you can trick them into following us,
you can subscribe twice.
Oh yeah, the DoktorHigh's Facebook. I mean YouTube. DoktorHigh has a YouTube up there too, guys. So go on his YouTube as well and follow and subscribe and share and like over there as well.
I have this many subscribers so far.
I'm one of them.
Yep.
I think I'm one of them.
And Mr. Slow is the other, I believe.
Me and Mr. Slow.
So
anyway,
nice.
That's it. I guess I'm gonna put some music on. I'm gonna say goodbye to DoktorHigh. Everybody say goodbye to DoktorHigh. We will see you.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe, stay happy and well medicated, and have a great weekend.
Do we have a guest on Monday or no? I don't remember.
No, not that I know
of. The 25th, we have somebody.
Is that the North Shore Spores?
Yeah, North Shore Spores.
25th is next week.
Yeah, sometime next week because today's
my daughter's birthday is the 26th, so I pay attention. 26 years old, man. My firstborn.
My firstborn is 23. Yeah, I know.
Starting to feel it.
We're getting old. We're getting old.
I appreciate that, Raggy.
All right. Everybody over here on Facebook and YouTube, thank you again so very much for being here. DoktorHigh, have a great weekend. Good luck on your hunt for your home.
Thank you.
Your home. Mrs. High, we love you. Thank you so much for everything, allowing him to play with us.
Oh, she's already at work.
Oh, she's gone already.
She's off helping the old folks.
Did you make her lunch?
No, I made sure she had leftovers from yesterday though.
Oh, all right.
So
whose birthday? Happy birthday. Whose birthday?
Happy birthday. Nice. Thanks everybody. Have a great weekend.
Oh, Nick's mom's birthday. Yes, happy birthday to Nick's mom. All right, peace out everybody. Thank you so much.